Are we live? Mic working. Yeah, right? Yeah. Mic working, cam working. Good deal. Okay. It's been a long time. I'm going to try to get caught up on the Grace stuff on separate things. But Grace, and tons of drama with Grace on Lolcow Live. Probably be 2 streams to review all that. Really, there's not much else to talk about. EFD was streaming today. He signed on, or he went live, and then like literally 5 minutes into like 5 minutes into the stream, like he nodded out. So am I still up? Yeah. Oh, I'm having internet issues already. God damn it. All right, hang with me. Hopefully we can make it through. All right. So anyway, that's it. He nodded out after like 5 minutes, and last time I checked, he was still nodded out. He banned me from his chat. I don't know why. Anyway, we're gonna move forward with Memphis wrestling. We're moving into let's see, March 15th, 1986. If for some reason we run into copyright issues or the stream is taken down, hang tight. I've got a 1984 Memphis playlist ready to go. So if for some reason it gets taken down, I'll switch over to that. So as long as my internet holds up, we're good today. How's it going, Eddie? So we missed whatever happened on the last episode after Jeff Jarrett as the referee, whatever. I'm hoping that they don't, I'm hoping we don't have a repeat of last time, but if so, hopefully the 84 thing will fix it. But anyway, let's get going. Hold on, let me check my volume. Shit. I was recording Chaotic Truth last night, so I had to turn the volume way down. Furby was really out there. That's the other Thorpe thing, is Furby did like an 8-hour, just an 8-hour rampage on Chaotic Truth. All right, let's get going. Here's March 15th, 1986, Memphis, and this is, as always, from the Evansville broadcast.
Everybody, Lance Russell and Dave Brown, we're right along ringside, about ready to go with another big day of championship wrestling. David,
we're going to open with a brand new team in here, Paul Diamond and Michael Lee. It'll be our first look at them on championship wrestling. A little bit later, the Dutchman, Dutch Mantel, will be here wrestling in a single match. We will have Dundee and Landell as a tag team. Later on, it'll be the Mod Squad and Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, the Fantastic.
So we're going to get finally the Mod Squad in the ring. I'm smoking today. I don't know what, they don't tell you what the strain is, but it's a hybrid, but it's this Super Shake. It's got like distillate infused, and it's got raspberry terpenes, so it tastes like raspberries, and it's like, I think it was like 42% THC or something like that.
Are here today.
Yes, we'll be hearing from the French-Canadian Joe Leduc. In addition to that, we'll have a tape of some of the highlights of what happened in an international heavyweight championship match. That and a bunch more. We're going to take time out. Be back with the action in just a moment. Yeah, we're about ready to go. Okay. Opening bout coming up there. We've got Benny Traylor in the mask.
This is a weird team. One of that really good tag team we've seen the last couple weeks, and then just a random masked guy. That's kind of weird.
Patriot ready? Okay, Dave, how about the official introduction?
I think we're ready for a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match here. Introducing at a total weight of 420 pounds. Out of Mississippi, Jerry Garmin and his partner from parts unknown, the masked Patriot. Going against him at a total of...
You know, when the booker puts you in a tag team with one of the masked guys, like you're not carrying a lot of favor. Hopefully they make the masked Patriot take the loss here.
445 pounds. From Memphis, Tennessee, Michael Lee. And from Tampa, Florida, Paul Diamond. This match will be one fall, 15-minute time limit. Referees Jerry Calhoun.
I mean, to me, Garmin's the only guy in the ring that doesn't seem like a jobber, in my opinion. Everybody else in here looks like enhancement talent.
Okay, David, I gave you the raw. Now the team was so used to seeing Garmin and Traylor together. Benny Traylor is the representative in the ring right now. And Diamond on a switch. Hip toss, nice move. Youngster, first time we've seen him out of Tampa, Florida. going against Benny Traylor, who's paired up with the...
You want to see the Christmas creature? We can do that. We can have a... You want to do like a... you want me to put together like a wrestling Christmas episode? I could probably do that.
Masked Patriot today, and Paul Diamond.
That clip of Balls Mahoney as Santa Claus or whatever.
Partner is Michael Lee, wrestling out of Memphis, Tennessee. Traylor, underneath that time, and look at that diamond move. Hey, good-looking young fellow.
We are going to have Christmas programming. I've been working on it for a couple months, finding just the right shit.
Sure is. He makes the tag. Michael Lee coming in. Michael Lee, good size on him.
Takes him with a fireman's carry, toss over and down, drops on the arm, and then goes into a bar as Benny Traylor getting off to a very rough start here as the new and young team of Diamond and Lee doing very well.
Benny Traylor not having much luck today as things have been going so far. He's over to the corner and makes the tag on the masked Patriot. The Patriot, all decked out in red, white, and blue.
Why are they referring... Benny Traylor is not in the match, is he? Am I crazy? Benny Traylor's not in the match. Garmin is the guy on the outside, right? This is Garmin. His tag team partner is Benny Traylor, who dresses exactly like him, like they're a tag team. They look alike, they dress alike. Like, this masked Patriot, I don't understand where Traylor is in this. I thought they announced it as Garmin and the Masked Patriot. Am I wrong in that?
Under the mask. Michael Lee. Got him with a drop kick. Patriot down on the mat. Michael Lee working on the shoulder and upper arm.
Dave Brown. He doesn't even know who's in the ring.
Ooh, referee Jerry Calhoun saying, get your hand out of the hair. And there's a tag on Paul Diamond. Diamond is the official member, but Michael Lee put Patriot down after he had been popped into the ropes. Dropping with a leg. Big one. There's a cover one.
I'm going to get a hold of Randy Hales and find out who owns the Masked Patriot outfit.
And he kicks out, does the Patriot at the count of 2.
Nice move by Paul Diamond.
Look at there.
Rolling over. Yeah, 1, 2. He got him.
Very impressive moves by Lee and Paul Diamond. He grapevine that leg and kind of side suplexed him back down. Rolled him right up in a nice move into a 1, 2, 3, David.
Just a couple of minutes the time on it there. Nice win for Paul Diamond and Michael.
I mean, it was an okay match, I guess, but I mean, there was zero investment. It was just to introduce us to Lee and the other guy, but honestly, like, they were pretty forgettable. They didn't do anything that stood out. They didn't get a promo.
Yes, and so the Patriot and Benny Traylor will have to go back to the drawing board and see what will be happening. Had a big international heavyweight championship match that took place between Rick Casey and Abdul Gaddafi. I want to show you some of the highlights of it right now and pay particular attention to the end of it and what happens to Rick Casey. We'll have some comments in just a second. 1 fall, 60 minutes in time.
This is they clip this like I clip, where I tell you something cool happens, but you have to sit through the whole match to get to, instead of just showing the end.
International heavyweight title match.
Santa versus Jesus. We could promote that. Winner take all for Christmas.
Challenging.
All 12 days of it.
Wrestling out of Libya, Abdul Gaddafi. His opponent, San Antonio, Texas international champion, Rick Casey. That's the reason why Casey is able to hold on to that title the way he's been able to. And Casey down. Beautiful drop kick. Oh, how quick. Did you see that right foot go up and nail him right in the mouth? Casey backed into the turnbuckles.
I mean, I don't know anything about him. His promos aren't very good, but I feel like Gaddafi is still an interesting character. He looks great, especially for this area where just looking tough, like, gets you a lot of credibility. I like him. I think he's an interesting character.
There's that clubbing with those
I like the brawlers though too. Oh, sorry, Grace.
Pole arms of his. Reversal! Nice backdrop! Gaddafi Matra now, he's going to try to throw him. He does. Shoulder puts him down. Goes underneath. Hooks that arm and puts him over and down. Beautiful move by the champ.
You want me to answer you here, or do you want me to answer you in a DM? What era is this? This is March 15th, 1986. In theory, it's where we've left off before the last copyright strike. But I'm hoping that they won't strike this one. Or they didn't really strike it, they just took it down.
And Rick has been able to stay out of the way, but all but one burst of energy. And the shoulder puts Gaddafi down. He caught him.
Well, I would talk about it anyway, because I'm going to review both of those episodes of Leuke Live.
And dropped him on that top rope. On and bear hugged him as he came off the ropes. And that started it. A slam from the second rope. Going for the elbow. Catches him.
The only reason Rick Casey and this crowd are against Gaddafi is because of American propaganda.
To avoid any of those really severe ones. Oh, he just got out of that one. Until he can get his strength back. Oh, yeah. He is ready. Challenger slams him into the turnbuckle. And Casey avoiding those two big elbows. Very important move by Rick.
It's a MAGA crowd.
Gaddafi down. And right into the ropes.
I also really like all the characters from back in the day, like this era in the 70s. Really, even going back like further than that, like Fritz von Erich pretending to be a Nazi. Like, no matter where you were from, you could just tell people like, oh yeah, this guy, he's a mechanic from Brooklyn in real life, but now you're a Russian. And like everybody believed it and it worked. Just being Russian was enough to get like heat. What promotion is this? Memphis. Yeah, if you want hot crowds, man, Memphis definitely got the hot crowd.
With Casey hung up. Gaddafi hanging on the other side, trying to get his breath back. The referee trying to get Casey out of the rope. Gaddafi
brought him back in the hard way.
Back.
See, if that referee would have done his job, Gaddafi wouldn't have had to have done that. Once again, Gaddafi having to clean up for this American imperialist referee.
Yeah, drops with an elbow.
They don't really have a heel commentator right now in Memphis on these shows. Dave Brown is a heel to me personally, but not outwardly to the fans.
Rick is hurt. What else with that hit? Oh, 1, 2. He got him. A stunning upset as Abdul Gaddafi pins Rick Casey and is the new international heavyweight winner.
Oh, shit, son. Wow, title change? That's a pretty big deal. Like back in but I don't think it is so much in this case maybe, but like belts changing hands back in the day was a lot different.
Yeah, we got a new international heavyweight champion, Abdul Gaddafi, big son of a gun.
USA is not okay. USA #1, or no, Iran #1. USA Hawk 2, the original Hawk 2, the Iron Sheik.
Was in over 280 pounds. To answer the question, we've had a lot of questions since.
Why does the referee dress like Rico from the WWF? Do you think that's why, since Jim Cornette was so heavily influenced by this, why he loves Rico Constantino so much?
That time, Rick's neck was a couple of vertebrae screwed up in there. He is not going to be wrestling for a while. And
yes, like no, I'm not happy that he's hurt, but you know. Take your time getting better, Rick Casey. We don't need you to rush back into the ring. Don't cut any promos from home. Just relax and just chill for a while.
Appreciate all the folks who have been wondering about Rick, and thank you also for the flowers, and Rick will get them. You can bet on that. Hey, we also want to right now take an opportunity to listen to Billy Travis and Frank Morrell. Billy has got, by the way, a match coming up with Gaddafi for the international title. Let's see what they had to say.
Eddie Marlin's asked me, Billy here was to have an interview. As you people know, Billy here is a little bit shy, but that's nothing wrong, Billy. You'll get over that. You overcome it. As Billy and I, you people know, we hadn't been together but a few weeks, but I was just looking back. It was yesterday on our win and loss record. When I first got with Billy, I think his was around 20%. And I was looking at it up to date yesterday, it was about 60%. And I got to looking myself. I think being around this young man right here has helped me out a lot, because mine wasn't with the 30%. So
this guy looks like this guy looks like the manager of a bowling alley. He's just so weird to me. And his like relationship with this guy, with the little like curly-headed guy, is always really funny.
I guess it's got me thinking young. It's got me a drive. And I told Billy, I says, Billy, there's a chance now for you to become a world champion. You say you want to be one. Now this Gaddafi, you people know that he didn't beat Casey. He just got lucky. But I'm not saying that Billy either can go out and whip the world's champion or Bill Dundee or Jerry Lawler or somebody like that. There's no need for me to stand up here and lie to y'all, because y'all know that Billy'd probably be lucky if he lasts 10 minutes. But that's beside the point, Billy. Everybody had to start. And this man right here is where you can get your roots. This is your start. Ric Flair started with a local belt. Now, this is a local belt for you. You've got your chance. I want you to get in there, do everything I've told you. Keep that mind. That mind's where it's at. Keep that mind straight. Now, this big guy, I told you, and you people know, it was very lucky. He couldn't whip Casey.
Yeah, Billy Joe Travis. This is just such a weird dynamic for me. I don't know. This guy creeps me out, though. He looks like a human Shrek. A May-December couple, yeah. This guy's just so weird. I feel like though he would be awesome in a movie, like as an old tough gangster or something. But him being with this guy is just Billy Joe Travis is so weird.
It was luck, and Billy, here's your chance. Get you a belt. Get that belt. I know you can whip him. Now, I know you're a little nervous and everything, but you tell these people in your own ways. What you think about
Frank,
how you going to do it?
I think I can beat Gaddafi, whatever his name is, because I think my time has come. was an inspiring interview.
Okay, Channel 7's Championship Wrestling will be back in the ring in just a moment. I got some big news to talk about. Where? Evansville, Wednesday night, Coliseum. And, brother, I mean a full card that will include an AWA Southern Tag Championship match. J.D. Costello, Badlands in New Orleans. Done a lot of talking. Going to try to take it away from these gentlemen right here.
Well, you know, J.D. Costello, like we said in the Mod Squad, have made a lot of promises and a lot of threats and ridiculed a lot of people around here, brother. But let me tell you something right now. When you start knocking the people around here, you're walking on the fighting side of the Fantastics. Mod Squad, it's only the beginning, brother, and it's going to be a hot summer around here. If you think you're just going to walk in, pick up these belts, and walk out easily, you're definitely wrong. And Wednesday night, brother, you better be prepared to fight for your life, because that's what we are going to do when we get in that squared circle in Evansville.
First thing he tried to do was buy him off. No, that didn't work. Going to have to fight for him, my friend. And when you start talking about fight, one of the premier names that comes up is Dirty Dutch Mantel. Big return right there in Evansville at the Coliseum. You and Jerry against Dundee and Landell.
That's right. Me and the King are coming back. And we're coming back with a purpose in mind. I don't think it's any big secret that when you hurt 18-year-old kids and beat them up, baby, it don't get over with me. Because it don't make you a big man in my eyes. And when you take a man down like you did Jarrett, and try to rip his eyeball out, no, that's not the way to do it, guys. But I'm going to tell you, me and the King, we got a purpose. We want to put you guys in the hospital because the only thing Dundee and Landell understand is sheer brute force.
Amen.
And me and the King, we're lined up, baby. The more things change, the more they...
Dude, I'm such a Dutch fan, like, such a Dutch fan now. Sorry if I'm distracted. I'm talking to somebody.
Stay the same, Dundee. And I listened to your dribble for a couple of months, and I ain't listened to it no more.
High school football coach and a bad news bear type, yeah. He just straight out shit on him. You can't beat no one else but fucking go in there and get your ass beat. The belts are weirdly small back in this era. Some of them are really strange, are like really weird and small.
You might tell that Landell what to do, but you ain't telling me what to do. And I know you don't tell the King what to do. So when we show up in Evansville, baby, you better be prepared for the fight of your life.
I wonder if that's why Big Gold like really stood out as like so iconic to so many people, besides Flair wearing it so many times. But like it was so different than even like the WWF belt at the time. Maybe that's why it really stood out, because a lot of these Southern belts were really chintzy, and that one was like super badass.
You're not going to see a wrestling match, and I'm talking to the fans now. You're going to see a fight, and baby, if anybody can do it, I can do it, and I know Jerry Lawler can do it, because we're the best at what we do. Dundee and Landell, we're coming straight for you, not right, not left. See you in Evansville.
Climbing in the ring right there is Keith Eric. This match is going to be one fall, 15-minute time limit. Introducing from Memphis, Tennessee at 206 pounds, Keith Eric, and going against him from Oil Trough, Texas, at 229 pounds, Dutch Mantel. This match one fall, 15-minute time limit. Referees Jerry Calhoun.
Bill time, and we're off and running. The Dutchman with Keith Eric. And I'm not sure I'd like to be in Keith Eric's shoes right now.
I was just thinking that same thing. Dutch Mantel pulled him back to the corner, fires him across the way into the turnbuckles. The Dutchman, boy, he always comes to wrestle, but sometimes he comes with things on his mind. And today is one of those days. He slammed Eric down to the mat.
Just things like you just saw right there. Side headlock, and the way he roughed him around. Dutch will do that to you, brother. Everything, when he goes in and just locks up, man, it'll hurt, because he'll grab you and hurt you.
Slide the boot off the side of the face. That doesn't feel too good either. Dutch got a handful of hair. Referee warning him about it. He's used the hair a couple of times, and this time Jerry Calhoun says, you're going to have to break the hold this time.
Dutch squaring off with him, center of the ring. They tie it up, and this time Eric goes over the top, and Dutch reverses it. Down with that knee.
Shoulders down, count of two. Eric able to get the right shoulder up, but he almost had him there. There's a one count. Dutch determined to hold him down to the mat. He doesn't have enough of his weight over that right shoulder, though. Eric's able to lift that shoulder. Slam. Big one by Dutch. Now he's got a 1 and a 2, but Keith Eric kicks out of it at the 2 count. Eric off the rope. Powered down to the mat by Mantel with that big arm. That rolls him over. Off the rope, drops down with the upper arm, and this
He's got it.
This got to be it. Count of 2 and 3. Not much way Eric could get up from that. Dutch had just really powered him down to the mat, and then he went for the rope for a little extra momentum as he dropped down. Victorious, you see him, Dutch Mantel, in 2 minutes, 6 seconds.
Dutch got hacked off that Eric kicked out on a couple of occasions when he thought he had him. He really got him then. Dutch Mantel, the winner in that particular one. We got some words right now from the King. Let's take a listen.
Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, look at this. This chair is amazing. Look at this absolute, like, oh, this is wonderful. I love this. I love everything is completely misframed. The painting is a quarter on the screen. Each picture is partially on. We can only see a little bit of the plant. Fantastic. This looks like it. This is like the worst backdrop Jerry Lawler could have chosen. But I love the chair. I love the chair.
Hi, everybody. Well, before I get started on this interview, let me say first of all that there's nothing that I wanted more in the world than to be here live on television today and see all the wrestling fans and get a chance to thank everybody for being in attendance last week, talk to Lance and everybody. But as most of you know, I still have some commitments that were made before I before the situation occurred that I was able to come back here and wrestle full time. Some bookings, some places that I have to wrestle, that commitments.
Yeah, the only chair I think maybe I would like better than this for him to be sitting in is if it was one of those, like, what do they call them? Like rattan chairs. Remember the people back in the 80s used to, if you got your picture taken with somebody in prison, they'd have that big rattan chair that everybody was sitting in. I really like that chair too.
That I just couldn't get out of, and today happens to be one of them. This showing on Saturday, I have to wrestle in another part of the country tonight, and so I'm having to do this interview a day early. Now, I do know one thing. I do know that Buddy Landell and Bill Dundee are in the studio live today, and I do know that they're going to hear every word I say, and I want you two jerks to listen. I want you to listen real good. Now, it's no secret to anybody that last week, the return of the King, I mean, it was overflow crowds. I haven't seen crowds like that in I don't know how long, and believe me, the electricity, the excitement that was in the air, oh boy, it was tremendous. And I want to thank each and every one of you people for being there, and I hope that I lived up to what I told you I was going to do, and believe me, I'm not through yet. Now, Dundee, you and Landell, I just want to say this. I hate your stinking guts, and you know, my parents always brought me up saying, don't hate anybody. Because no matter how bad somebody seems, there's a little bit of good in them. There's some redeeming quality. But Dundee, you and Landell have to be the exceptions to the rule. There is not 1 ounce of good in either one of you stinking jerks. And you proved that last week. You showed your true colors. When you're out in the ring, right here on television, when you're in the ring wrestling, and there's a young kid, Jeff Jarrett, 18 years old, just out of high school, and he's trying to break into professional wrestling, and he's starting out the only way he knows how, learning the ropes by being the referee. And everybody has to know that the kid's scared to death in there because he's in an unfamiliar surrounding. He's trying to do the best job he can. And then Landell, you and...
This sounds like Jerry Lawler speaking to like a teacher at like a parent-teacher conference, or he's the teacher talking to a parent or something.
Dundee have to take advantage of this kid and bust him up. Now that takes real tough guys, doesn't it? That takes a real man to beat up a 17-year-old kid when you're an experienced professional wrestler.
Oh, no.
I hope you're real proud of yourselves. But that wasn't the worst of it. The worst of it was when Jarrett, Jeff's father, tries to come to his rescue, a man who everybody saw come right out here on television and explain about the disease that he had in his eyes, histoplasmosis, that cost him the complete vision of one eye and almost cost him the sight of his other eye. And then you two jerks when you got him down, and it took two of you to do it, you go after that one good eye. And not only did you try to take away his sight, but you were taking...
Okay, sorry about that. If you don't know, that's the clip that got the last stream taken down, so I figured it would be better just to remove the visual, and hopefully there shouldn't be an issue because they didn't play the original audio if they were looking for that, because it was Lawler talking, so hopefully we got through it.
You were taking away his manhood. Because you see, here was a father.
Yeah, it's like muting for music, except it's muting the visual.
Trying to come to the aid of his son. And you jerks showed him that he wasn't able to do that anymore. Well, let me tell you something. There's a word that you two idiots probably don't know the meaning of. And that word is friends. And Jarrett's got friends, brother, and I'm one of them. And a friend is a person who, when that person is hurting, this friend feels what he feels.
How stupid is it, though, that we have to do that? They don't own that. They literally don't own it. Like, Anthem TNA does not own the Memphis archives. Like, they don't own that footage. It sucks that just because they can afford a lawyer, like, they could afford a lawyer that could, like, bankrupt a normal person trying to just keep up 5 seconds of a fucking stream. That's so outlandish.
And when I sat and watched on television and I saw Jarrett...
They removed his manhood. Ruptured testicles were common in Memphis wrestling. Legitimately.
Down there, and I saw him have to go out in front of those people crying because he realized that he could no longer protect his son, that he realized that he wasn't the man that he used to be. I felt that, and all the hundreds of thousands of people, the other friends of his, felt that too. Well, let me tell you something, Dundee. I am his friend, and I'm going to do what he wasn't able to do. I'm going to come back for you. And this time, brother, there's not going to be anybody to pull me off of you. There's not going to be anybody to stop this match. You know, when Dutch won that last match, I was upset. I told the referee, no, don't stop it. Keep it going, because, Dundee, I wasn't finished with you. And believe me, I'm not finished with you. The king is coming back, brother. And I'm going to do to you what everybody is waiting for. I'm going to get rid of you once and for all. If you think last week was something, believe me, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because the people are waiting for it, Dundee. They are sick to death of you. They have had it up to here with you, and so have I. And I'm going to do something about it. When I get in the ring with you next time, Dundee, the king is back, and it's going to be all over for you and Landell.
Okay, 60 quick seconds of your time, my friend, to tell you about what is going to happen at Evansville Coliseum Wednesday night. I mean, the roof is coming off. Listen to the entire card. Excellent, tight card. Pat Rose against Frank Morrell. Joe LeDuc, the big French-Canadian, goes against a youngster from Florida, Paul Diamond. Be a good match. International heavyweight title bout. Abdul Gaddafi will be defending against Billy Travis. That'll be interesting. Southern tag title bout. The Fantastics, Tommy and Bobby, will be defending in the ring, not with conversation, against J.D. Costello's Mod Squad. And then stand by. The War returns Wednesday night. That's going to be Dirty Dutch Mantel, Jerry the King Lawler, going against Dundee and Landell. And believe me, when the Dutchman said a little while ago, it's not going to be a wrestling match, it's going to be a fight. That is precisely what you better be looking for when you come to the Coliseum. Get the entire family. Be down there Wednesday night. You don't want to miss it. Okay.
Got a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match coming up here. Introducing, at a total of 451 pounds, out of Memphis, Tennessee, both of them, Jim Jameson and his partner David Haskins. Going against them at a total weight of 438 pounds, From Australia, the superstar Bill Dundee and his partner from Los Angeles, the Nature Boy, Buddy Landell. This match one fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee Jerry Calhoun.
Well, here again, I feel sorry for Jameson because he's caught with the fury that Dundee has going, and Dundee starts right out ripping him with the fist. Jim Jameson, David Haskins going against the rugged team of Landell and Bill Dundee. Dundee just opens right up, slamming away.
With a doubled-up fist. He's
with tape on it.
With tape on it, not even trying to hide it. He's just pounding him.
Yeah. These are the guys that, listen, Dundee will be the first one to talk to you about, oh, I came for a wrestling match. I wanted to do all of the wrestling holds. Yeah, the go-behinds and all that. Forget that. Street fighting, that's exactly what he's best at. David Haskins takes a tag from Jim Jameson, and he comes in and catches the fury of Landell. There's a tag on Dundee. Billy.
Dundee going after Haskins much the same way he was Jim Jameson, just grabbing him by the throat and hits him with a fist. Haskins down on the mat. Dundee jumps on him with a boot. Now Dundee back to the corner. Tag on Landell. Landell sets up with an upper arm as Haskins came off the ropes. Drop kick.
Big drop kick from Landell. That's about the first wrestling move I've seen out of the two of them.
Yeah, you're right. Here's Dundee back in. Landell with a parting shot. Big broad arm across the back. Haskins down on the mat. Dundee yelling something at him. Jim Jameson over in the corner trying to cheer Haskins on. Landell in. Grabbed him with it looked like a headlock. He's got him in a somewhat of a headlock. Landell shoves him back to the corner, and the tag made on Jim Jameson. Jameson comes back in, and wow, was he staggered by Buddy Landell. Dundee smacks him with that taped right fist. Landell hits him once as he's leaving.
Ref, all they're doing is using a fist in there for crying out loud. Boy, it just gets you so hot. I feel just like all the fans that have written in about Dundee and Landell. They're trying to take things over. They just ruin a doggone good sport with the kind of attitude that they got. What happened to Dundee's eye? You know and I know he had it coming. And more.
Dundee hammers Jameson again. Jameson trying to make it over to the corner. Didn't quite get there for the tag on Haskins. 3.5 minutes gone, and most of it has been Dundee doing what he's doing right now. Right fist, one after another.
Jameson down on his face on the mat. Haskins just got knocked off the ring apron. Big slam. He just dumped him over all the way to the rope. Jameson is about out on his feet as Dundee takes a parting shot at.
Landell's a budget Ric Flair, but he can work. Yeah, I think he's great. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, honestly. I love his promos, especially. I'm sorry, I'm talking to some. I'm not trying to ignore anybody, but this isn't exactly
At him leaving the
wildest episode.
ring. Oh man!
Landell hit him with a chop. Wow.
Boy, Bill, you're really big deal.
Landell again hammering him.
Jim bleeding from the mouth. His face, he's out on his feet about. He's just been pounded to a pulp. As Dundee takes off again on him. Jameson down on his face. Oh, they're feeling real good about what's going on in there. 1, 2, 3.
Haskins went in to help Jameson, and he was drop-kicked out of the ring by Landell. And now Dundee and Landell both grab him again. They've won the match. They beat him to a pulp, and that's not enough.
Come on, Jerry.
Oh, we got color on TV. Wow. I keep forgetting, though, this is Memphis. Like, it's so shocking to see blood in there.
Thrown down onto the floor.
Whenever I was hanging around like the indie scene in the mid-2000s, what they'd always tell people is to take a couple Tylenol, and that would thin your blood, and then you'd have to try to you wait to a point in the match when you get really sweaty, and then it will really get thin and your blood will really start running.
I'll tell you, when I said sick, I mean sick. Both of you guys, I hope you're proud of yourself. You pounded around.
I'm gonna kill you, fuck to me!
You're gonna have to face him, don't you? All right. Come on, you guys get out.
Look at Dave Brown. He's just standing there allowing this to happen. He's doing nothing to help this carnage right in front of Dave, and he's too drunk to do it.
Get somebody out here to help Jameson. Boy, the poor
Why doesn't Lance Russell help?
son of a gun that led these guys.
He could at least go over and be like, come on, let him up or something. I mean, they're just hanging out commentating on the guy getting beat down.
Get him out.
You've been to yeah, it's not the same. The indie shows that I went to, sometimes I was one of 6 people in the audience. I'm not joking you, one of 6 people. And the people who were wrestling then, who were coming up, are the people who are I guess honestly moving toward retirement now, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, all that era of wrestlers were coming up during that. Oh, there we go. Hey, what's up, Doug?
I really think you've lost your mind. Oh, come on.
Oh, it was when we were watching the Jerry Lawler show. They interviewed that woman who'd been going for to Memphis shows for decades, and pretty much, I think she said she went to the first ever show and wrestling show period in the area. And they asked her who her favorite wrestler was, and she was just any of the good ones. Who are your least favorite? Any of the bad ones. That's why these crowds were hot. They liked certain wrestlers more than other wrestlers, but they were primarily there just to see the struggle between, the good guys and the bad guys. The storylines, I mean, you had to give them something, but they just weren't as they wanted to believe, they wanted to be into it. They didn't want to nitpick it and find the holes in it or whatever. I think to me it's like a haunted house. If you want to be scared in a haunted house, no matter how old you are, you can be. You just have to allow yourself to be in that mindset where you're not oh, this is a plastic spider or something like that. The ring rat.
If you need some more help.
I bet you Dave Brown would have been there in a heartbeat if that was a ring rat getting beat up.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we'll take a break and see if we can get somebody to help Jimmy out. Bobby Fulton, the Fantastic.
These guys can get the crowd going when they hit the door, can't they?
Yeah, they really can. I'll tell you, it's just a pleasure to see some decent wrestlers after what we just saw. And they are exciting. Okay, Davey.
All right, it's going to be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. Introducing at a total weight of 455 pounds from Pensacola, Florida, Pat Rose. And from St. Louis, Missouri, Tony Faulk. Going against them at a total weight of 400.
Pat Rose, come on, man. Where's Pat Rose's son at in the chat?
49 pounds.
Why don't they team Pat Rose with Tony Faulk? I feel like that'd be the way to go.
From the City of Angels.
I'm so hyped that we made it through the Jeff Jarrett segment and the stream is still up. Like, even though these are not the best matches or whatever, like, I want to keep going through. I want to see what happens over the course of the year with Pat Rose and all these weird, the Mod Squad, all these strange characters. Like, I looked at the 84 Memphis and it had way bigger names, but like, I don't know. I'd feel weird if I didn't get closure on what Tony Faulk does in 1986.
Los Angeles, California, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers.
I don't want to be like in my 90s in the nursing home and be like, I'll never know what happened to Tony Faulk.
The Fantastic. One fall, 15-minute time limit match. The referee, Jerry Calhoun.
Okay, we're about ready to get it going. I got to tell you, Tony Faulk says this is the day.
He says the big day is now.
He's going to be on the winning side of a match in here. Tony told me, by the way, that he was getting in shape to win his first match. He'd seen other athletes do it in football and in basketball for the footwork. He is enrolled and is taking ballet lessons, Dave, if you can believe that.
Well, we'll see if it does any good here today. Pat Rose hammering Tommy Rogers. Tommy reversal. Nice one. Middle of the ring. Fired Pat Rose into the rope.
I just noticed that. Has it always been like that where there's no turnbuckles? It's just like tape?
And then dropped him on the mat as he came back out of there. Good move by Tommy Rogers for the Fantastic. Pat Rose back to the corner. His partner, Tony Faulk, saying, way to go, Pat. There's the tag. Tommy Rogers greeted him with a boot to the midsection. Over to the corner of the tag on Bobby Fulton. Fantastic's looking good. Tony Faulk whipped into the turnbuckle. Bobby Fulton with the monkey flip. Popped him out of the corner, and Tony Faulk saying, wait a minute, slow down. Bobby Fulton grabs him by the arm, takes him over to the corner. Tommy Rogers in after the tag. Tommy up on the middle rope. He drops down with a double upper arm. Faulk reaching for the tag, did not get it on his partner. Nice move by the Fantastics. Great teamwork to make another quick tag. Tommy Rogers hits him with a drop kick, and now Faulk is looking for the corner desperately. He got the tag that time, and here comes Pat Rose. Ballet has not done Tony Faulk any good so far in this match. Pat Rose with the headlock has Tommy Rogers down on the mat. The shoulders are down. The count was at 1. But Tommy is able to get the right shoulder up off the mat rather easily. Rose does not have him in a very good pin position. 2 minutes gone in this one. 15 minutes, the overall time limit.
Hold on, wait, what? Oh, okay. No turnbuckle budget at Memphis. It all went to rhinestones. I thought you said No turnbuckle budget in Memphis. It all went to threesomes. And I was like, they didn't have to spend money. The Rats give money. They don't accept money. Young Tony and Hairspray. Memphis must have been the world's largest rhinestone and sequin importer. Yeah. Just Bill Dundee, Jerry Lawler, and Austin Idol alone probably kept the rhinestone factories open.
Pat Rose hanging onto the headlock. Tommy Rogers back on his feet.
Wait, is Pat Rose teamed up with Tony Faulk?
Oh, Rogers gets hit with a shoulder, but Pat Rose, big tough guy out of Pensacola.
I didn't know that. Oh, fuck. I'm too high already. I didn't realize that was him.
Florida, wow, he just knocked him down there. This time, Tommy Seth rolled him, and
I thought it was Hulk Hogan in his Sterling Golden character on the ring.
comes back with
Not really.
the drop kick. Pat Rose decides.
Well, what a super team of terrible people that never win then. This is like the ultimate. Like if there was an Avengers of people who never win matches in Memphis, it would be Pat Rose and Tony Faulk.
Hey, that's enough for me right now. This is not going well for our team. So he has tagged Tony Faulk. Faulk again looking for his first victory, either in tag team or single wrestling action. Going against.
Is there a too high really? I mean, I think there's too high like to do certain tasks, but I think the only way you could be too high to stream is if you nod out. And even then, like, you know, it's content to some people.
Bobby Fulton. Hair pulling by Faulk. Tony.
This raspberry flavored weed, though, is like it's so addictive.
Fires Bobby into the rope.
The taste, not the actual weed, in case Ruby Spacek is watching and wants to debate me on if weed is addictive or not.
He's the one that catches the shoulder butt coming off of there, though. And Bobby Fulton has him down. And Bobby is the one in control.
I don't think Tony's had enough ballet lessons yet. I mean, after all, he's only...
That interview, I don't know, or not an interview, but this is Thorpe related. It's for the Thorpe folk. But after Grace won like her lolcow Queens battle, she went on her own stream and she was reacting to Ruby streaming like Ruby's reaction to the lolcow thing, and like Ruby was so like down. It was really depressing to watch. Like she wasn't like sing-songy or happy. Like the camera was stable. It was sad. It's weird to see Ruby without like her big energy. But I think she was also been off weed for 2 days. What am I smoking? It's like I don't know what, they don't tell you what the strain is. It's just a hybrid. But it's like a super shake, distillate infused shake. And then it's got raspberry terpenes mixed in for flavor.
Down to 2, 3, that's it. Tony Faulk gets pinned, and the Fantastics with a high five in the victory. 3 minutes, 21 seconds, the time on it. Great moves by the Fantastics. The terrific teamwork as always. And it gets them a victory over Pat Rose and Tony Faulk here today.
Fantastics with a very impressive move on...
What is it? Glorious Bubble Hash. Make some... mods, make a note of that for me.
Rose and Faulk, and they end up with a win. We have had previously some comments to make about the Jerry Lawler cassette volume 1 of the story of the King and some of the action. We got some comments.
What I like about this distillate infused shake is that there's pockets of it where there's more distillate than others, and so like it's like a little like spongy little like ball kind of, where it's like soaked up way more distillate than the rest of the shake. Those are like so potent, like holy shit. Salute to old school Sith Lord Nakamura channeling the great Muda spirit. So people calling, I didn't watch. Are you talking about the Shinsuke Nakamura from WWE? I saw that he had a match against LA Knight, but I didn't watch it. I don't keep up on modern that much unless like I hear about something on a podcast or something that's interesting. I got to get that raspberry indica hash pre-roll shit.
Comments from Jerry about it, and we'd like to listen to him right now. Jerry?
Hi, everybody. This is Jerry the King Lawler. And the people at Independent Media
God damn, how many interviews is this guy going to get in one show?
Marketing have put together a very special video.
What is he? What's he own a place?
Just for all my fans out there. If you order it right now, you're going to get 60 minutes of wrestling's heart and soul. You're going to see on it some of my most spectacular entrances into the different arenas and coliseums, and also a match that has become a classic all across the country. It happened in Tupelo, Mississippi, and it happened in the concession stand. Also, you're going to see some of my greatest moves, including the big pile driver, and the match that everybody in the world talked about. The Andy Kaufman feud is all included on there. Also, you're going to see a showdown match with one of my toughest opponents ever, the wild man from Texas, Terry Funk. And it was a bloody...
Glorious is a weed company. They also have a collab grow with Method Man called T-Cal. They grow some impressive weed, the Grape Z.
In brutal battle. Also, you're going to see some of my most vicious opponents that I've ever faced, including guys like Jimmy Valiant and Joe Leuke.
That was a crazy bump for the time. Like, that was nuts.
Duke. And then you're going to see the big Jimmy Hart loser leave town match, the match in which I went against Eddie Gilbert to get rid of Jimmy Hart from this area once and for all. You're going to see the King throw the fire. You're going to see wrestling's first music video and much, much more. That's all on this video. And if you order right now, you're going to get a
I keep saying we're going to watch it. We've got to watch it. I'll figure out a time we can watch it.
special price. It's
We can always watch it at the end of one of these streams sometime.
only $29.95. Now, this video is not available in stores. You just send $29.95 plus $5.25 for shipping and handling to the Jerry Lawler Video, Post Office Box 3020, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 08034. Or you can call now and order it over the telephone by dialing 1-800-524-2507. It's a free call, 1-800-524-2507. I had a special hand in making this video, and I know all my fans are going to love it. So order yours now.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that's got some great memories and moments on it,
Sure
you know,
does.
as I
Look
think
at it.
back on it. I tell you the truth, some of them weren't all pleasant. Most of them, as we look back in retrospect, I don't think if I get 100 years away from Dundee and Landell's tactics and the stuff that happened today, that it will ever come into perspective to where...
Okay, so this is 1986. So it's got to be 2086 before Lance Russell is willing to give Buddy Landell and Bill Dundee another chance. I don't think we're going to make it, just being honest.
it won't be as bad as it is. You know what I think, Dave? I really think Dundee, he thought he...
Well, some of you might.
He had the whole situation taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he had everything under control. We were a little sick of all of his lip and all of that, but hey, you know, that goes on. But then it happened, and I think Dundee...
Wrestling's first music video before Bad Street USA or anything by Adrian Street. Let's see. Well, this is...
I swear the guy is losing his mind.
I'll look it up.
I think he sees it slipping away from him, and he's just losing his mind. Oh, I've never seen anything like that. We're going to take time. I'll be back in a...
I do think it seems like Adrian Street could have definitely been pre-86.
Hey, back into the action here in just one moment. By golly, I'll tell you what, a Wednesday night, big night of action going to be there. Joe LeDuc returns, international heavyweight title match, Southern tag team title bout you love, and that returning grudge match between Lawler and Mantel against Dundee and Landell. Well, you know that is going to tear the Coliseum down.
I'm not even getting any responses in the search for it. It's just it talks about entrance music. And I don't know for sure I don't know if this is true or not, but this thing here says that one of the first people to use, it just says one of, it doesn't say the first, but it says one of the first people to use music was Sergeant Slaughter, who came out to like the Marine hymn or whatever. Bad Street USA, when was that taking place though? Or that could have been, yeah, the Freebirds are older than I'm mentally picturing. I don't know. Somebody's probably got it documented somewhere what the first one was.
Now, I may be losing some journalistic integrity because I say I won't interview somebody, but hey.
Dude, like Lance Russell legitimately thinks at this point that he has any journalistic integrity. He ball washes for every babyface constantly.
I've been around long enough. That's the way it is. Dundee and Mantel pre-recorded.
Lance Russell was just like Howard Costello.
Pre-recorded.
He was announcing now, all of a sudden he's got opinions to make. Mr. Announcer, you ain't supposed to have no opinions. You're just supposed to hold the microphone. But all of a sudden, because Jerry Lawler comes to the ring like an idiot, tries to punch my lights out, gouge my eye out, and I complain about it, he throws the microphone down, walks off, and says he doesn't want to talk to you and me. We went down to wrestle. The name of the game's wrestling, Jack, and we came to wrestle, and you came there with something on your fist and tried to take my eye out, Lawler. I had to go to the doctor, but you took the pictures the next day, and I looked like I'd been in a car wreck. And Lawler, you had something on your hand, boy. Well, I'm going to tape this up at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to stay in all day, all week if it has to. And I'm coming down there, Lawler.
Your Stoner Brain says they were using it back in WCCW during the Von Erich feud. Oh yeah, I would think so. I'm just like, that's not my wheelhouse. I don't know a lot about World Class. I don't know what era, what year they were there. Like, I feel like mentally, when I think of World Class, I think of like mid 70s to mid 80s. But I don't know. That's just like in my stoner brain.
And I'm going to try to...
I also, though, for some reason, picture like the Attitude Era being much earlier than it was. In my mind, it was mid 90s when it was really like late 90s. And same with like 80s wrestling. To me, like, I always... If you ask me like what year the Hogan and Warrior wrestled, I would probably say like 85 or 86, which is wildly off. But like mentally, I picture all that stuff at the middle of the decade, not at the end of it.
Kill you, boy. And when I get done with that, Mantel, you're going, and then when me and Budro will beat your brains out, we're taking over there.
I'd fit right in with this crew with these sunglasses on. I don't know about the pineapple hat.
Because Russell, you're gone. Jarrett, Marlon, and everybody else that owns this thing is going to go. But Lawler, we're...
Would have been about 83. That could put it before Lawler's then.
Punching your lights out. Tell him, Budro.
Let me tell you all something. Me and Bill Dundee is running up and down the road signing the autographs and all that stuff, and that didn't get us nowhere but bankruptcy, baby. If you think for one that we come here to sign autographs, then you got another thought coming. If we got to slap Jarrett son around, if we got to beat his old lady up, if we got to beat Mighty Marlin up, and his wife and his kids, whatever we got to do, Jerry Lawler and Dutch Mantel, you're history, baby. You're ours. And let me tell you one more thing. We're going to own this. That's right, I said it.
Okay, so like the kind of the peak World Class then was in the early 80s.
Okay, pardon me. We're about ready to go. Got a little frog down there jumping. He's waiting for the next match. About ready to go with the expiration of time on, and there comes Jade.
Is this our first time seeing him in the ring?
Costello and the Mod Squad. JD makes such a big production out of the fact, and he's very proud of it, that these are two former policemen out of New Orleans that were fired, and I don't know what all the bragging about is that. That's nothing to brag about. And the opponents, Larry Hamilton, David Johnson.
Era of copious cocaine? Hell yeah. Cocaine fueled so much amazing entertainment. Wrestling, movies, music, like just everything. That cocaine is the reason that 80s culture is so like memorable and interesting, in my opinion. And why it's lasted so long, because you can't... It's got that special like Coke nostalgia, snowflake nostalgia.
Okay, Dave, I think we're about ready for the official introduction.
All right, expiration of time match coming up here. Introducing a total weight of 400.
These are the kind of comments that get me in trouble with YouTube.
135 pounds. From Memphis, Tennessee, David Johnson, and his partner from Tampa, Florida, Thunderbolt Hamilton, going against him at a total weight of 491 pounds. From the Badlands of New Orleans, with their manager, J.D. Costello, Spike and Basher, the Mod Squad. This match to the expiration of time. Referees Jerry Calhoun.
Well, one thing I'll agree with J.D. about, and that is his team, the Mod Squad, that's physically they're impressive, boy.
Did you ever see that movie, speaking of Robin Williams, did you ever see that movie 1 Hour Photo, where like he's a pharmacist that develops this family's photos and he starts like stalking them and he goes to their house, and when he breaks into their house while they're gone, like the movie focuses on the fact that he just takes a shit at their house. Like, I don't I don't understand it, but I always thought that was funny because there's a movie where Robin Williams burglarizes a home so that he can take a shit inside their house and leave.
They are a couple of blocky guys, and they're going to have an interesting little test here today. Larry Hamilton with a great amateur background. Thunderbolt has a lot of amateur titles under his belt and some professional ones, and he's going with a young...
This guy in the ring from the Mod Squad has that aged WCW era luchador body.
Fella who is very quick, still learning.
It's odd, yeah. 1 Hour Photo is definitely weird, but I think it's like if you like Robin Williams, it's a really interesting performance. You saw Mrs. Doubtfire. There's somebody in Grace's community that's like a real life kind of sounds like Mrs. Doubtfire. Nikki New shows us like, hello. That kind of sounded like Wings though. Hello, everybody.
But awfully fast in David Johnson, and they are off and doing it.
Did they really put two black guys up against the two policemen that were fired for police brutality? That's kind of sus.
Mike and Basher, the Mod Squad. Oh, what a drop kick Thunderbolt just put on it. Hamilton had to take on the both of them briefly there, and he did all right. The Mod Squad finding out that they're going against some competition here in Thunderbolt Hamilton.
What's that manager's name? J.D. Costello? I need to find out about him.
J.D. Costello, the Mod Squad manager, walking around explaining to the crowd that there was a violation in the Mod Squad rule book by Hamilton when he did that.
Nice fireman's carry throw on...
I see why he got the hat on.
Pike is...
You started all of this out here,
the bell started at J.D. I don't know what your complaint is. Boy, if he's complaining right off the bat here, man, he is not going to have a very pleasant road because he's got a lot of problems in store for him.
Boy, he sure does, on down the line.
Okay, hang on. This guy's he's still alive, I think. Well, no, he's posted one time on Twitter. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope this is the best year of your life. Wow, what a thoughtful thing to post. He posted that January 10th. He says he successfully brought the NWA back to Charlotte after it had been dormant for over 25 years. So I don't know what happened to him after that.
Not too far down the line either.
Yeah. Thunderbolt, nice reversal with a hip toss.
Well, they went through they cycled through a few different looks. They continually called them police officers, but I feel like at one point they had the army outfits on, like a prison guard, a cop outfit. I thought they had one more maybe.
Rolling arm lock, he hooks it, rolls with it, and snaps him over and down on the deck. And Thunderbolt Hamilton makes the tag on David Johnson, who comes in behind Spock. Spike drops in the elbow, going right at him. Ooh, Spike caught him with that foot in the midsection. Interesting how blocky these two guys are, the Mod Squad. Boy, they...
Yeah, that's a good observation from Lance Russell. They are very blocky.
They are thick.
After the tag, they put David Johnson over the top rope.
My men are obviously going to tear these boys apart. They're obviously suffering from malnutrition. They're probably on food stamps welfare. They're a threat to the government. They're a threat to wrestling, and we're going to put them out of business today.
J.D. Costello going hard on the mic. Wow.
Oh, well, I guess that
He went on that big tirade, and Lance is like, well.
came right straight out of the Mod Squad rule book that J.D. is so proud of carrying around. Leg drop on David Johnson, who comes fighting back. He's struggling. Ooh, takes a big knee to the midsection, broad arm.
Think of how cool it would have been to be a heel manager in Memphis at this time, like with these hot crowds, interacting with people, getting that crazy heat.
And Basher making the tag. David Johnson. Not having a very good time of it right here against this rugged Mod Squad bunch.
Basher picks him up and dumps him.
That would be so much fun. Like, if they did have if time travel were real, like, that would be something that would be fun to do. Go back and be a heel wrestler or a heel manager in this era.
Hard, then goes after Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt coming right through those.
I don't think professional wrestling would have any subtle racist tropes, would they?
Ropes after him, but the referee cut him off.
Now, that was a mistake there. I don't think he realizes Thunderbolt Hamilton will come right after him head on. Mod Squad tags out again.
And yet another tag.
Guess we're too young for Method Man's song. I don't think I'm too young. I just don't recognize the song. Plus I'm like really pretty I'm still, though, YouTube, in complete control of my stream. Thank you.
Basher coming in, and Spike goes out as Johnson fired across the ring.
I think I'm like the same age as Method Man or something. Probably pretty close.
Ooh, big forearm across the back. They're really working on Johnson, trying to keep him in there.
YouTube will suggest anything to you nowadays. I haven't watched pro wrestling since 98 or 2000. If it's not pro wrestling, do you... What else do you like? Do you watch body cam reviews? Or trad girl content? I forget what else I do. I forget what else we watch on here. These guys probably had to pay for their own gear out of pocket. Oh yeah, I think they got to pay for everything, right? As far as I know, unless you were like a really big name. But even then, I think even like Flair had to pay for his own robes and shit. And in fact, I think Ric Flair had to put the deposit down for the NWA World Title too. But like, yeah, you had to pay for everything. You might get like, if you had to travel to get there, you might get like a little bit of trans, but it's probably not going to be enough to actually pay for your trans.
I think they sensed early in the match that Johnson was the one that had the least experience. And
yeah, do you watch a lot of Lifetime movie reviews, Red?
Smaller of the two. So Spike and Basher have been working on him consistently, trying to keep him away from the corner.
See, I watch a lot of like intoxicated women body cams. I watch a toxic trad girl IRL streamer, Lifetime movies. There's a lot of like dysfunctional female energy. So every once in a while we have to do a wrestling stream to like inject the testosterone back into the stream.
In the tag on Thunderbolt Hamilton. So far they've done a good job of it. 4:15 gone in this first ball.
Suplex puts David down in the middle of the ring, and another tag. What are they going to do? The Mod Squad. Man, right on his head. One.
He picks him up. He won't go for the 3 count. Well, I don't think I've ever seen that before. His partner just threw him down on top of David Johnson.
Is this guy hurt? Like, he almost looks like he's hurt. Let's go back. Let's go back and look at that real quick.
Thunderbolt Hamilton. So far, they've done a good job of it. 4:15 gone in this first ball.
Suplex puts David down in the middle of the ring, and another tag. What are they going to do? The Mod Squad. Man, oh man, right on his head. 1.
He picks him up. He won't go for the 3 count. Well, I don't think I've ever seen that before. His partner just threw him down on top of David Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know if he took that hit like a little bit off or what, but like, dude looks like he's out of it. He's like barely able to stand.
That extra momentum. Surely he could have gotten the pin there, but he doesn't do it. Hammers him into the turnbuckles. Body slams him.
This match, and they've been staying with, as Dave pointed out, David Johnson.
I have a low opinion of the Mod Squad. I feel like they weren't, like, they came in with so much hype, but like they really didn't deliver in this match. Like, the other team, I think, put on a better match. They're like sloppy, dropping that guy on the other guy's head. Like, come on. I don't care for the Mod Squad. I thought they were going to come out and like have big power moves and like be super like, you know, almost like a redneck Road Warriors.
They cover, might be it. 1, 2, 3. Mod Squad wins it.
Okay, let's take time. We'll be back.
Streamer, that's secretly, no, I'm a fan of dysfunctional women.
In just a moment with a second ball of action. To the roughest, strongest guys we've seen in wrestling would be several names, but certainly one of them that would be included would be guy that's coming back to the territory. Big,
or as Ben would say, in the Greek sense,
French-Canadian Joe LeDuc. Let's take a look at Joe and one of his feats of strength. Joe LeDuc is set in the ring. 5 men on each side, selected from the audience.
We've already seen this like 3 times.
A total of arms away, but
the challenge here is not to jerk.
Slow, steady pull to see whether the strength of 10 men.
A slow, steady to see if the strength of 10 men. Something like this live, like. What's going on here? This is this is really weird to me for some reason. Like, I don't understand the point of. I mean, I get that, like, oh, he's so strong, but it's so ridiculous.
Everybody is set.
Look at this guy just came out off of a yacht. He looks like he just stepped off of a yacht.
Eddie Marlin, the pulls.
But don't jerk. A gentle, steady pull, eventually getting the full strength of 10 men.
I've got a man.
What do you mean he's the winner? Who did he go up against? What? I don't even understand. Oh, were they saying he was competing against the 10 men?
She can clean up. She can come and clean up all this.
The Duke picks him up.
You tell everybody how crazy I am. I'm going to show you I'm not that crazy. Look at that! I'm not crazy.
Duke, look out!
That is crazy. Every time I see it, I'm like, I cannot believe Jerry Lawler agreed to take that bump. This is the top dude in the territory. That was so unnecessary, but what a great moment for the fans. Like, that's just a crazy bump.
Joe LeDuc is back. And I'm not crazy like everybody thinks.
Certainly.
Uh-oh. Okay, so now we have moved on to, this has no practical real-world application to strength as the carnival show. Yeah, I was wondering, like, it's one of those things that, like, even if it is impressive, like, who cares? Like, if, it was like when I was a kid, they did it all the time in WWF where, like, Dino Bravo was going to break the world bench press record, and I get it now because Vince McMahon likes to, you know, likes to goon to guys, strong guys lifting heavy stuff. But like as a kid, I was always like, so what a waste of time. Like the fact that this guy can lift weights is meaningless in the wrestling ring. Like it doesn't mean anything. It just always seems so weird. But then when they would do the really off stuff like tearing the phone books or holding cars back with their strength, it was always so like over the top. Like, if Joe LeDuc comes in and loses, is anybody going to be like, man, I didn't see that coming after he held his hands together for 5 seconds while people pulled on his arms? Like, I don't... I've got my finger on the button in case Jeff Jarrett shows up.
Oh, yeah. Y'all get ready, because by golly, I'll tell you what, we sure are. Hello again, everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown, and we are right along ringside, all ready to go with another big day of championship wrestling. And, David, we've got some great names, and one of them is coming back. And I'm not sure that is going to make our life very easy.
You're talking about the big Canadian, which we'll tell you about here in just a moment. Also today, we've got the superstar, Bill Dundee and Buddy Landell. They'll be teamed up for tag team action here. Then the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers will be going. Also the Mod Squad, Spike and Bruiser with J.D. Costello. And what Lance was talking about is the big French-Canadian Joe LeDuc returning.
Joe LeDuc will, in fact, be right back here again. Hey, before we get into our opening bout, we got some special guests that we want to bring to your attention. All the way from Galway, Ireland, we have some visitors, and if we can, we'd like to have them stand up. There they are. I understand, is the mayor a little under the weather?
Who knew his opponent was stronger than a phone book? Yeah, like it didn't... The other one they did all the time that I remember offhand was the blowing up the water bottle. And I just always figured they had like a pen in their hand or something. Like it just was always, I just never understood it.
Weather today, yeah.
No, I do like I think they work pretty well. Like whenever they would do the old pose downs, because then the crowd would get involved and you would always get like some drama. But like the weightlifting stuff never really had any drama to it.
I believe so.
Except for the time that Jesse the Body Ventura, there was the scandal over whether or not he had his hand on the barbell or was like had spotted him a little bit. But even then they never paid it off. So even though there was a little bit of kind of something interesting that happened, nothing ever came of it. It was just like whether or not we could trust Dino Bravo, who was already like a villain.
She was scheduled to be here, the mayor of Galway, Bridie O'Flaherty, but she wasn't able to make it a little bit under the weather. We also have some distinguished visitors from Concord Academy. Where are they now?
I guess there is in a wrestling way a practical application for it. Like just not like you said, not in the real world, but I guess that's to show the bear hug or whatever, but I mean I would just rake his eyes.
There they are, right down here on the front. Glad to have them here with us, and by golly, we're looking forward to the action. Speaking of it, we better get to it. We're running late. Let's go.
The Road Warriors drop. Oh my God. Ooh.
Alrighty, about ready to go with our opening bout here. We have one of the participants in, and here he comes. Young fella that we've been watching his career with interest. David?
All right, one fall, 15 minutes.
Oh boy, Billy Joe Travis. Where's his friend, the bowling alley manager? Oh, is that him there?
Time limit match here. Introducing at 209 pounds out of Memphis, Tennessee, Keith Eric. And going against him from Lexington, Kentucky at 228 pounds, Billy Travis. This match won fall. 15-minute time limit. Referees Jerry Calhoun.
Okay, bell time, and we are off and running with our opening bout. And there, Billy Travis on the right as you see it now. Snap mare, and over goes Keith Eric down in there. Bill, it's been an interesting guy to watch because he was, as we have said so many times, the Rookie of the Year by the International Wrestling Fans Association, and an aggressive guy. It's been very interesting to see the effect that Frank Morrell has had since he and Frank have gotten to be friends.
Well, Frank, of course, the wily...
Since he befriended Frank Morrell.
Veteran, and he's been able to give Bill a few tips here and there. And wrestlers at a teen championship caliber,
He does have the Sid hair. Oh, he's got like the Sid Justice outfit on too, the blue tights.
use all of that. They build on that experience and all that instruction they get along the way. Billy Travis certainly seems like a good student. Keith Eric. Well, Keith Eric wants himself declared the winner. That means...
Oh, the lung capacity water balloon test was your favorite. You could see how that would translate to cardio. Yeah. That's true.
Maybe as close to victory as he gets if he doesn't pay attention to Billy Travis.
You got that right. He got one hip toss in there.
Dino Bravo probably did have good lung capacity, but I don't think that dude ever wrestled a match that went over like 4 minutes. I don't remember him having a lot of like drawn out classics. He was such a strange looking guy too. I remember when I first saw the old footage of him where he has like dark colored hair. He looked so weird. But then it's 100 times weirder with like the ultra platinum blonde hair he had for a while.
Jarrett, he
was ready.
I'm the winner. Put my hand up.
And then he got murdered as part of like a some kind of organized crime fiasco.
Yeah, he's back on the rope, hanging back there. Well, Eric says, well, he had his tights pulled. The referee said, I didn't see that. Billy Travis, nice takedown, puts him down on the mat. Eric struggling to get under the ropes, break that hold. He does so.
You know, Travis is one of the wrestlers, Dave, that Bill is bigger than he looks, I think, on television. When you look at him, he doesn't look as big, but you get up next to him, and boy, you can see a lot of beef and muscle in there. He's bigger than he looks. Look at that nice move. Went around behind and took him down.
Eric rolled into the ropes, now under the ropes and out of the ring. Climbs back in. I tell you what, Eric is not showing much fear of Billy Travis. Billy just doing what he needs to do there. Oh, a little hair pulling by Keith Eric puts Travis down to the mat.
You know how smart that was? He did it right in front of the referee. He didn't even try to hide it. He just grabbed the hair and jerked him off his feet while that arm was being twisted.
Just grabbed his arm and jerked him off.
Billy working on the left arm. He's got his barred up there.
They got a cop back there. Oh, I guess they probably would have had to have back in those days. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much help he'd be. He's got a gun though. That'd probably solve just about any issue that'd come up there. Ain't seeing much chaining going on.
Put a little extra pressure on the shoulder. He yanked his hair again that time, and that time it was not right in front of the referee. Well, the referee, I don't know if he saw it or just...
You notice Dave Brown quick to point out that dude was pulling Sid's hair, but then he doesn't point out that Sid's using a closed fist. The referee, luckily, is seeing that.
Respect. Billy Travis takes matters into his own hands with that, though. Especially the right hand. Travis.
It's a cute little quip when it's Billy Joe Travis.
But he's able to slip around behind him. Billy is very quick.
Another factor that made you notice him right off the bat, Travis, is something.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any of that unless it's like a. No, I can't think of anybody on this roster that wrestles like that. I was going to say maybe there was maybe Bill Dundee could.
Thing we have talked about, and that's the aggressiveness that he has. He has no reluctance to do whatever it takes.
Chain wrestling back in those days was like pick him up, throw him in, drop down, jump over, get it again, that kind of thing.
And sometimes you need that when you're going against.
Billy Joe Travis is the favored twink. He's like the Lawler of Memphis wrestling.
A lot of rugged guys. Travis will do it.
Keith Eric backed into the ropes now by.
How many of them had an opportunity to train at New Japan Pro at the time? I'm not sure.
Billy Travis. Referee right there wants a break. Oh.
There was a lot of U.S. talent over there at the time, though. That's when I think the tours were touring over there pretty regularly.
He pops Eric. Eric had popped.
Like when I say tour, I mean like the individual wrestlers, not like WCW went there or somebody like that, but like just like the Road Warriors would go or Terry Funk would go.
Popped him across the way, and Billy was just getting even with him there. Only I think Billy did more damage than Eric did.
Chin locks him, pulls that head right back with a knee right up on the neck.
We're coming up on 4 minutes.
I bet if you go to some of the other territories, you probably could find, if not a significant amount, at least some chain wrestling. Memphis is like a pretty punch and kick type territory, though.
It's gone in this match. 15 minutes.
It seems like it so far from what I've seen.
Overall time limit. There's Billy Travis, and there's Keith Eric.
No, don't smoke Metal Echoes. Can't watch old wrestling with people. They just don't get the art of history. Yeah, I think there's like a big push from people, and I think it's on both sides of like demonizing old wrestling and then demonizing like new wrestling. Like, whereas I think they all have like their positives and negatives. So I don't really see the point in like really going too in depth on like comparing them or saying what's better or whatever. I think there's good wrestling in every era and like hilariously bad wrestling in every era.
You can see him struggling over to the ropes.
Yeah, brawler, a lot of blood, personal feud storylines.
He can get under the ropes. He knows the referee will call a break, and that's exactly what happened. Eric back on his feet. Eric with a knee lift.
Travis being set upon.
Like, I'm not going to argue with somebody who, if in-ring work rate is their thing, they're going to say this match is a complete snooze, and I'm not going to argue that it's a good match, but like to me it's a fun match because I like the storyline going on with Billy Joe Travis. I just like the atmosphere of the match. I like the crowd reaction. I like the commentary. But I'm not going to try to argue with someone and say like, "Oh no, you have to like this kind of wrestling." Like, it's pointless.
On by Keith Eric.
Travis lured him back into the corner. Nice move by Billy. He let Keith come in there after him, and then he came out really after him. Billy walking around the ring with Keith Eric. Johnson, backbreaker across the knee. Billy climbing the rope.
Oh, he loves this.
Oh, he springs down there. This might be it. Count is 2, 3, and it's over. 4 minutes, 43 seconds the time, and Billy Travis with very well done on his match here today as he gets the victory over Keith Eric.
Good solid effort on both their parts, but Travis walks out the winner as he got his hand raised in a very nice maneuver on Eric to get the 1, 2, 3. There was an interesting interview we heard last week from Frank Morrell.
Yeah, I don't really care when something, like when it was made or where it was made or anything like that. Like, if it's interesting, then it's interesting.
Talking with Billy, and Frank had some more.
But I also find a lot of appreciation in stuff that's bad. So, like, if something's good, that's great. But if it's bad, then I'm into that too. I just don't want it to be like just nothing. Like, either be good or terrible.
Comments about Billy and his career. Let's take a listen.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Eddie Marlin for the championship match that he gave Billy Travis. And Eddie's like myself.
Oh boy, here's this weirdo in a park. I got to admit, I like that they have it outside instead of a studio, and at least they tried to get like an interesting background.
He thinks there's a lot of attention in Billy, and in fact, I know there is. And Billy wasn't fortunate that time, but I says, Billy, there'll be another time, and there will be another time. What you need to do is train and train hard. You've got to fight hard. If you want something bad enough, and if you work hard enough, and the potential's there, one day you're going to get it. And I'd like to...
Canada probably had a lot of chain wrestling. Yes, definitely. Britain, for sure. Isn't that kind of where it all originated? Like in the chain wrestling, like I'm thinking would probably been like maybe 70s Britain, maybe. The forefathers of the same style as like, who'd it be? Like Billy Robinson. And then later on, then you had like the William Regal types.
Show you now just how dedicated Billy really is.
Coach McFeely.
Come on, another one. Keep that back end down. Think about that championship. You're going to get it. Think about that championship. Come on, another one. Come on, you can do it. Come on, another one. Give me another one. Think about that belt. Think about that championship. Come on, another one. I want that belt. Yeah. Do you still want it? Yeah. Train. You got to train hard for that. Do you still want it? Yeah. Keep training. Ram up. You're going to get it. Just listen to me.
Come out here and all you see is Telly. You're in the park and all you see is Telly Savalas yelling at the guy from Greatest American Hero.
You're going to be a champion? You want to be a champion? Yes. You want to be a champion? Yes. Keep digging.
Isn't that weird though that like this in the 80s was like this was peak masculinity, and like the what were the Fantastics, like their videos are what was like marketed as masculinity, but if like it's completely seems gay now.
Keep digging. 49, no, you can't quit. 50, come on, get some more. Don't be a quitter. If you want that championship, come on, keep getting them. It's going to be worth it. You got it. Come on.
Would Nick Bockwinkel be considered part of like a? Would he? I don't know that I would consider him a chain wrestler, but I think he has like the skill set that he could keep pace. You know. Oh, yeah, Leuke has crazy spot chains.
Come on. I want that title. You got to fight for it, Billy. Nothing is given to you. Nothing is given to you. You got to work. Work hard. Keep going. Keep everything blocked out of your mind but that title. One day it's going to be yours, Billy. Just do what I tell you. One day it's going to be yours.
Back in the ring here on Championship Wrestling, coming up in just a moment. Son of a gun, what a big night of action it is going to be.
He's like looked at the card, he's like, oh my god, son of a gun, that's a good card.
Wednesday night in the Coliseum in Evansville. 6 full matches, and out of that there's going to be 3 outstanding championship matches going. Southern Tag Championship, International Championship, and the final bout is going to be a Southern Heavyweight Challenge. Dutch Mantel, Bill Dundee, one-on-one with Buddy Landell, barred from...
Backwoods, did you watch Ring of Honor in like the mid-2000s? I feel like you would have really liked that era when they had Danielson, Nigel McGuinness, Colt Cabana, and they had that like pure title.
From the building, here's what Dundee had to say.
You know, Eddie Marlin.
They were even doing like rounds-based matches.
This lawsuit's still going on. I'm sure Buddy Landell's going to have one against you, because you just can't say to somebody...
When Bill Dundee gets the settlement from this lawsuit, he's going to own Memphis. He's going to own Jerry Lawler. He's going to own Jerry Lawler's VHS cassette business. He's going to own the first ever, supposedly, wrestling music video.
Hey, don't show up somewhere when you got him under contract. Tell him not to be in the building. You just can't do that, Daddy. You can't tell somebody that can't make a living, and that's exactly what you and Mantel did to Buddy Landell.
Oddly, Billy Gunn's sons are not much fun. I've seen him a little bit on AEW, and I think I saw him on some indie DVD rips at some point.
You said, stay home, buddy, because we want that redneck to beat Bill Dundee for his belt. Well, it's never going to happen, Dutch. It's never going to happen, Daddy, because when the pressure's on, you're looking at the best there is. Oh, yeah, everybody's got to grow up, and I grew up, Jack, because the last time they said, when it was a loser-leave town, Dundee can't beat Lawler, what happened? He said he can't come through when the pressure's on. The king was gone, Daddy. He was gone. Then politics brought him back. You, Mantel, Lance Russell, Eddie Marlin, Jerry Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett, we're all in on it. You're the ones that brought him back, and you're the scapegoat.
Don't even say Jeff Jarrett, Bill Dundee.
Where's Lawler now? He's sitting up in his mansion somewhere laughing at you, Mantel, because you're the one that's going to get your brains beat out. You're the one that's going to come to Evansville and try and take my belt. Well, it's never going to happen, Daddy. It never...
I've thought a few times since we did the Jerry Lawler show stream that for sure that it was just a drug-fueled fever dream. But it really did happen that we saw Coco Beware play the piano and Dutch Mantel playing, accompanying him on guitar. That was such a surreal moment.
It's going to happen. Now, you may have barred Buddy, and that's against the law, so that's 2 lawsuits this outfit's going to get, but I'm going to take it all out on you, Dutch Mantel. I'm taking it all out on you, Daddy. I'm wearing this
You're done, Dutch. You're going to have to shave your back hair. You're going to have nothing left, pal.
belt to the ring, and I'm wearing it back, and I don't care what I got to do to win, and I'm not selling you short, Dutch.
He looks like he takes his hair off at night.
You know all the short tricks, you know everything, just like me. That's right, you can bend the rules. Well, this is going to be one hell of a fight, boy, because I want that belt, and so do you, and I ain't quitting. I ain't stopping it for blood. I ain't stopping it for nothing, but I'm beating you 1, 2, 3.
It was awesome. That was an amazing piece of footage. That was so cool. That was a genuine, pure mark out moment for me. Coco Beware on the piano, alone would have been surreal, but then having Dutch accompanying him, and then Jerry Lawler's overseeing it, dressed like a carpet installer.
3, I'll see you, boy.
Ready for the next bout. This one's going to be a tag match, a 1-fall, 15-minute time limit.
So that's Garmin and what's his partner's name?
And coming in, the Southern Heavyweight title holder, the Mid-American title holder. Dave, we're ready for the official introduction.
1-fall, 15-minute time limit match, introducing from Mississippi at a total weight of 423 pounds, Jerry Garmin and Ben.
Oh, nice. You asked him a question about it? Yo, I love his podcast.
Benny Trailer going against him. From Australia, the superstar Bill Dundee, and from Los Angeles, Nature Boy Buddy Landell. Their total weight, 438.
He's an amazing wrestling mind. He just knows so much about the psychology of the business. He's got so many stories. He has so much experience. He was around for so many historic moments in wrestling. I'm glad that he's doing the podcast and getting so much of this, of his knowledge out into the world, because just think of all the shit Dutch knows from he booked tons of places, built the Knockouts division for TNA. He did the Zeb Coulter stuff. He had all the stuff in Memphis. It's just crazy how much stuff that he did. He's a perfect candidate for a podcast.
Round. Referees Jerry Calhoun. This is a 1-fall, 15-minute time limit match.
Sure.
And he's not a kiss ass like some of them are. He's not, he's not really controversial, but at least he'll if he has an unpopular take, he'll give it regardless of if it's going to be problematic or whatever.
Hey, the final jacket is coming off. Referee Jerry Calhoun getting it down to 1-on-1 to start it off with, and Buddy Landell starts off.
I asked the question one time in the comments if Dutch brushed his back hair before he came out to the matches, and James Hart reacted it with the official account, but then it never got brought up on the show.
Against Benny Trailer.
Benny Trailer having to watch Landell going through a little bit of the routine here. Landell and Dundee. He's been running wild here for a few weeks. Benny Traylor finds himself on the mat in a headlock. Bill Dundee has him tied up on the mat. Referee checking.
Oh, yeah, Cornette's, oh, man, like, when Cornette does those, like, deep dives into, like, where he just takes a month of 1984, and, like, he has everything written down, so it's all of it is, like, completely accurate. I could listen to, like, a 10-hour marathon of those.
Shoulders are down. He starts the count. All right, the referee made him break it because Dundee raked his thumb.
Hairbrush taped to a back scratcher. Wrestlers usually, back in those days, sometimes they would have like I don't know, the Japanese called them young boys. They would be like, you know, up and coming wrestlers that would kind of like essentially what Billy Joe Travis is doing with Frank Morrell, the father-son mentor relationship. But they would travel with him and they would teach him about, you know, teach him the ropes and stuff like that. He should have had that guy. He should have had a dude that like would brush his back hair for him.
Across Benny Traylor's eyes.
Dundee starts off by hollering over here, no biased opinions from you all.
And it should come as no surprise that there were many, many, many stories coming out of that whole dynamic, all the way from like over in Japan, but then also like that's pretty much what happened with the whole Ring Boy scandal. Was like a Ring Boy's like one's just like the ring crew version of a young boy, pretty much.
The shame of it all is that Dundee is a super wrestler. Landell is a great talent.
I don't know what I mean, I understand why people like the AEW stuff, but the only time I ever really listen intently is on like I listen to the TV show reviews because they kind of give me an idea of who's feuding with who, and like even if I don't agree with him on the matches, at least I know what's going on in the storylines and stuff like that. But I don't usually listen to his like just general thoughts on it.
No question. We've never said anything but that. But the sad thing is that they've got to take and use the tactic, just like Dundee starting off with the thumb in there. No need for it. Absolutely none. Except he's got a short circuit somewhere up there, and,
Buddy Landell over to the corner. Look at now, Dundee comes from 3/4 of the way across the ring and plants a boot in his back. He just threw Benny over to the corner, and the tag is made. Here's Jerry Garmin. Garmin's first appearance in the match.
Nice waist lock and take.
Yeah, pretty much the same here, too, on WWE.
Down by Dundee as he throws Garmin straight down on his face.
If there's like a segment that's either so good or so terrible that it's worth watching, it'll normally come up like on every podcast. So you can't really, it's not like you're going to miss anything. You just might miss it live.
Landell is hollering support. I would hate to think exactly what he was telling him to do. Into the ropes and a whip. Dundee. Punch clotheslined him right down to the deck, and there's a tag on Landell.
Dundee hit him right in the head with a closed fist there. Garmin double whipped into the rope. Dundee boot to the top of the head as he leaves, and leaves him for Landell. Landell.
He seems a little frustrated, Bill Dundee.
Picking up Jerry Garmin.
He botched a couple moves in a row there.
Got a handful of hair along the way. They're making quick tags.
Well, the difference between Dundee and Landell is a lot of guys, if they are in trouble, will resort to things that certainly break the rules and otherwise.
There's the figure 4 by Landell.
Buddy Landell is the working man's Nature Boy. He doesn't have time to do the step over, the signal and then the twist. He just puts the figure 4 on and gets the win.
Ought to be it. Yep.
Submission by Buddy Landell on Jerry Garmin. Benny Traylor trying to get there to help out. Dundee knocking him back out of the way. Dundee putting a boot on the side of the knee of Jerry Garmin. Now Landell finally breaks a hold. 2:45 the timer. Landell and Dundee, pleased with themselves, leave with a victory.
comes as no particular surprise that they win the match, nor with the recent attitude that they've had that they pulled the kind of stuff they did after Landell with that devastating figure 4 leg lock. Dundee comes over while he's still holding on to it and continues to kick. I guess that just follows with what we were saying, that they will do things absolutely unnecessary. It's not a question of defending themselves. It's a question of just having a lousy attitude. I've had a lot of people, Dave, and I know you've had some folks mention it to you, as to...
Yeah, definitely a small ring. That's what I mean. I'm not surprised that, like, he overstepped on a couple of those moves, but it seemed like he was getting, like, he was becoming visibly frustrated.
One asking the condition of Jeff Jarrett after he was pounced upon by Landell.
I watch a lot of IRL streamers, and I like to kind of, like, follow the psychology that they go through their streams. So I'm always watching for, like, little facial cues and stuff like that.
Landell and Dundee. In addition to that, it brought...
Lance Russell, maybe the best play-by-play guy ever. I mean, he's definitely good. I like him. I think it's pure nostalgia, though, more than anything else. Gorilla Monsoon's probably my favorite, but he's comedy. He's show business. Lance Russell is, like, meat and potatoes. So, like, Gorilla Monsoon might be weird calling a lot of the Southern type of matches.
Brought up a couple of questions that I had for Jeff.
Maybe not, though. I feel like he'd like a lot of these weirdo good guy characters. He'd love Billy Joe Travis.
And ask him for some response. Let's take a listen.
Lance has asked me today to answer.
Okay, there's the chair that I was talking about. So we had the one with Lawler in the last episode, the, like, white thing. Now we've got the rattan chair.
So 2 questions he had for me, and the first one is concerning why I wanted to become a professional wrestler. And the second is why I wanted to get back in the ring and referee Bill Dundee's match. Well, last night when I was organizing my notes, I wanted to be... Don't give up.
Oh, boy. Man, I can't...
The Fantastics will be defending a...
I cannot get away from this guy. I cannot get away from this segment of the Jeff Jarrett footage that keeps getting me in trouble. Vince wasn't bad as a play-by-play. I think it just depends on what you want. Like, he's super over the top, but if that's entertaining, then I don't see anything wrong with it. Given it's a studio ring, yeah, that could be. And it doesn't look like it's a very good ring either, to be honest. It looks pretty jank. Yeah, young Double J. Yeah, Jeff Jarrett is like a copyright magnet.
Against the Mod Squad, Eddie Marlin's making the Mod Squad put up $3,000 to get that title match, and then the final. If
this is your first time being here, like, there's a clip of Jeff Jarrett that, even though TNA doesn't own it, they will copyright claim, like, and in the stream anybody that uses it. And so I have to skip over pretty much anything with Jeff Jarrett just to be safe.
Final bout. Woo! What a battle this is going to be. Southern heavyweight title match. Bill Dundee defends against Dutch Mantel. Buddy Landell barred from the Coliseum in Evansville Wednesday night. Well, there he is. It's been a while. Coming back, Joe Ledoux, who will be in there with David Haskins and just looking into those eyes. I'm glad I'm not Haskins.
Yes, indeed. Boy, I tell you, this is going to be one fall, 15-minute time limit. David Haskins at 230.
This guy looks like if Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund had a baby.
5 pounds out of Memphis.
Look at that. No, you know who it looks like? It looks like Only Use Me Blade. Oh my gosh. Holy shit. It looks just like him. Wow. Wow, Only Use Me Blade in Memphis. Who knew?
Tennessee, and going against him out of Montreal, Canada, 286 pounds, the French-Canadian Joe Ledoux.
All right, so now we got Ledoux in the ring.
This match, one fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee Jerry Calhoun.
Ledoux, one of the pure strong men I think that we have ever seen. He is...
Dude, didn't that look just like Blade? I was thinking that it looked like if Bob Backlund had like some kind of issues, and then I was like, no, that's Blade. It looks just like him. Vince was a good commentator in the sense, and he knows how to sell and communicate the story. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's just, I think it just comes down to whether or not you like his delivery style. Like, I think it's funny, and I think that era of WWF was kind of goofy. So, like, I think it's funny whenever Vince is like, oh, you gotta give credit to Doink and stuff like that. But I also understand how people might not like that. Like, you might get tired of 1, 2, 3, he got him. Oh, he didn't. He did not get him. He did not get him.
A powerhouse.
What a maneuver.
David Haskins is a good athlete. Goes into top wrist
David Haskins is fucked. He's going to get fucked.
block with Joe. And there's an example of it right there.
Power, just raw power. You're right.
David is certainly no featherweight.
No, at 235, he's a pretty good-sized young man and good strength, too. Former college football player. He's in good shape. But, boy.
He's in good shape, Dave, but can he keep his hands held together while being pulled apart with the strength of 10 men?
Look at the size of Leuke beside him. Leuke powering over him. Leuke has him back on the ropes. Oh, big lumberjack broad arm.
I don't know whether the people can hear it or not, but you hear that low growl. That's Leuke. It sounds like my Doberman when he's going.
David Haskins. Yeah, you see Leuke? I think you can hear him there.
Front face lock, and he's got a Haskins.
From some angles, he kind of reminds me of like Dom DeLuise.
Can I tell you he's in trouble even with a front face lock with the strength of this guy?
Best play-by-play right now is Ian Riccaboni. I feel like I haven't really heard a lot of Ian Riccaboni. Did he do MMA before wrestling or no?
Especially when you had a right hand like Leuke just did.
The stories of the things that this guy has done in terms of strength, absolutely unbelievable.
Well, I feel like John Cena stole his whole look from Joe LeDuc.
Haskins whipped over into the turnbuckle. Joe just comes in, grabs him by the throat. Referee starts the count. Came down here to these parts with Jean-Louis.
That's right, Jean-Louis. LeDuc.
Okay. Ian Riccaboni, wasn't he? No, that's Joey Styles. I swear, though, I've seen Ian Riccaboni somewhere that wasn't wrestling, I feel like, but I don't know where else it would be. Maybe it was Ring of Honor. That could be. I wasn't expecting that drop kick. It was pretty good.
With a drop kick?
What an amazing thing.
Wow.
And this is the thing when
What a maneuver from Joe LeDuc.
you look at him, you figure he'd be lucky to get 1 foot ahead of the other. Wrong. Boy, let me tell you, this guy can move.
Haskins trying to come back with right hand, followed by right hand to the midsection. LeDuc still on his feet. Haskins knocked him back into a corner. LeDuc slides out of him. Down to the mat he goes, counts 2 and 3.
Hey, great booking idea. Let's show this segment 50 fucking times leading into this match about how Joe LeDuc's bear hug is so strong no one can possibly escape it. But then when we actually get him into the ring, let's not even showcase the bear hug at all. He better pick him up after the match. I feel betrayed here.
Just like that. 2 minutes, 14 seconds.
They want you to pay. If you want to see the bear hug, you got to come down to the Coliseum.
Joe LeDuc with an amazing reversal again for a man his size. The agility he displayed right there in that reversal. He dropped down on Haskins, and when that 286 pounds hit, it was over.
Joe, anything you say?
I'm not sure what he said.
Really,
but
the way he stopped that when he was whipped like that into that.
Incredible. It bounced right back up.
Oh, I tell you, that's a new wrinkle from the Joe. We've always seen that ability to move with it. You don't believe he can. Whew, he can do a lot more than that. Hey, talking about amazing, I got to tell you that Jerry's going to be talking about a video cassette regarding some of the highlights of the King. Let's take a listen to him right now.
Hi, everybody. This is Jerry the King Lawler. And the people at Independent Media Marketing have put together a very special video just for all my fans out there. If you order it right now, you're going to get 60 minutes of wrestling's heart and soul. You're going to see on it some of my most spectacular entrances into the different arenas and coliseums.
Oh, man. You know he's the biggest star in Memphis, but part of you would really be interested to see how 80s prime Lawler would have fared against Hogan. My God, yes, absolutely. Like the give it a proper build. Like, that would have been epic. That would have been amazing.
And also a match that has become a classic all across the country. It happened in Tupelo, Mississippi, and
like, I think a lot of people have an issue separating, like, the Lawler that everybody knew and loved in WWE and WWF from, like, the Memphis Lawler. Memphis Lawler versus Hogan would have been, I mean, it would have been unbelievably good.
Happened in the concession.
That could have been like a series of things. Like, you could start it at the Rumble and through, like, you know, it could go from like Rumble to WrestleMania pretty much.
Stand. Also, you're going to see,
if not even like building up I don't know if they'd give them like a 6-month program, but I feel like it would have been really good. The promos would have been great.
Some of my greatest moves, including the big pile driver and the match that everybody in the world.
You know, we'd get like a cocaine-fueled promo from Hogan about how he was going to put an end to the divine right of the Kings or some shit like that.
Talked about. The Andy Kaufman feud is all included on there. Also, you're going to see a showdown match with one of my toughest opponents ever, the wild man from Texas, Terry Funk, and it was a bloody and brutal battle. Also, you're going to see some of my most vicious opponents that I've ever faced, including guys like Jimmy Valiant and Joe LeDuc. And then you're going to see the big Jimmy Hart loser leave.
Lawler could have been as big of a heel in WWF that Piper was. I agree. I honestly think he would have been better because I think he would have been more open to doing more business-wise than Piper was. He seemed pretty like confident he wasn't gonna, like, he didn't want to actually. He was really worried about how he looked in it, where instead of like what's gonna make money, and so I think Lawler would have been more open to that. And I also think I think in ring, the Lawler stuff would have been better. I put them about the same promo-wise, just in like a different way, though. Like, Lawler's more like authentic and believable. Piper's more like entertaining. But I think Lawler would have been amazing. See, AI will get to the point to where we'll be able to do that. Like, that'll be amazing. We'll be able to see, like, what would Lawler versus Hogan have been like, and it'll be like, we'll be able to watch it. Hopefully. Lawler was probably making so much bank in Memphis, he didn't have to need Vince's money. Yeah, not only was he making money, but like he could take time off. He could just go do whatever if he wanted to. He was building up like businesses in Memphis. He had full creative control, and also like you said, not just making a lot of money like as a salary as a wrestler, but he had like the huge ownership stake too.
Town match, the match in which I went against Eddie Gilbert to get rid of Jimmy Hart from this area once and for all. You're going to see the King throw the fire. You're going to see wrestling's first music.
I think he played it absolutely perfect. I think he stayed the big fish in the little pond as long as humanly possible while he could perform regularly at a high level, and then he transitioned to being more of an entertainer, and then he built an absolutely like iconic body of work in that mode as well. So I think he gave his all in the ring as a like regular competitor for as long as he could, and he still put on some good feuds in WWE or WWF. Him and Bret Hart was really good. I don't know, like the whole feud with Doink, I guess, was kind of funny.
Video and much, much more. That's all on this video. And if you order right now, you're going to get a special price. It's only $29.95.
The Bret Hart stuff, some of those interviews with him where he would attack Bret's family and shit were so funny.
Now, this video is not available in stores. You just send $29.95 plus $5.25 for shipping and handling to the Jerry Lawler Video, Post Office Box 3020, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 08034. Or you...
It's a scalpel versus a sledgehammer, kind of. He was much more soft-spoken in Memphis, but he had a lot. There was like weight behind what he said, in my opinion, anyway. Getting high and watching old wrestling, hell yeah, of course. Yeah, the Kiss My Foot match. I remember he would like make fun of Stu when he was at ringside.
You can call now and order it over the telephone by dialing 1-800-524-2507. It's a...
Who else did Lawler have feuds with? Bret? He had that awful Michael Cole feud. He's also got my favorite Royal Rumble exit where he finds out, like, as he's sitting there that he's in the Royal Rumble, and he gets in and then is immediately knocked back out again and then just immediately sits back down and puts the headset back on. That's an amazing moment.
Free call, 1-800-524-2507. I had a special hand in making this video, and I know all my fans are going to love it.
The barber shop was an inside job.
So order yours now.
Hope you got that phone number down, and you'll get your call.
Oh boy, here we go. J.D. Costello's back.
And right away, obviously, I am standing right here with J.D. Costello and the Mod Squad, Spike and...
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot about that. That's another great feud. And it led to that, like, unbelievable moment where Cornette was in ECW for one night.
Basher, got a few fans over there, J.D., but I must make the comment, I don't think you found the Fantastics quite as easy as you thought you were going to.
Lance Russell, do you know what this is? It's a sack of gold coins. My mother sent it to me yesterday. Her attorneys appraised it. It's valued at over...
Oh, man, gold coins. Don't tell OPC Don and the Thorpes.
$3,000. Now, what I'm going to do today is to put up this $3,000 to the Fantastics in exchange for a championship match on television today for the Southern Tag Team Champions with the Fantastics. We want it today. Now, I received...
I don't agree with this at all. I don't think he should be able to just walk in off the streets and buy a shot at the championship. That doesn't make any sense. They've been here for, what, 2 weeks? And this guy's going to come in and just buy a title shot? I don't think so. I hope that the officials at Championship Wrestling will put an immediate stop to this oligarch coming into the company trying to take over.
Hundreds of calls. I receive hundreds of letters into this television studio week after week.
They're just chocolate coins.
Tell me what a great wrestling manager I am. I already know that. They tell me how great my men are. I know they're awesome in the ring. They are truly the masters of disaster. We're the best wrestling team that this area has ever seen. Now, but some of the fans tell me they don't have the money to come out to the arenas, or they're sick, they're an invalid. They have all types of excuses. So what?
Oh my God, that was amazing. He's now complaining because invalids can't make it to the show and because some of the fans are too poor to afford to come out. So he's going to taunt everybody with his sack of gold coins.
What we want today is a match on television with the Fantastics. If they're men enough to get into the ring with my men, we want it today. You don't have to wait for the sun to go down. You don't have to wait for it to snow in July. We want the match today.
Memphis losing Jimmy Hart to you was an inciting incident that led to its downfall. They brought in some managers afterwards who were good, but no one ever got as much heat as Jimmy Hart. Imagine Jimmy Hart turns heel, brings in a lawyer, and together feud with Hulk Hogan and WWF. Yeah, I think people really underestimate Jimmy Hart because it's easy to just remember him as like the pipsqueak manager or whatever. But his work in Memphis was amazing. His work like behind the scenes too. He did a lot more work in that. And I mean, so many, obviously the songs the like wrestling themes he contributed to. But yeah, he was amazing at getting heat. People just dismiss it, I think, because looking back on it, maybe they just think that he's annoying. But at the time, like, he generated a shit ton of heat. And he was right in the middle of the Kaufman thing.
Lance let's wrestle. So pass the word along.
JD, you know we've got a show already matches set up. I would love to see a championship match, but that's Eddie Marlin's department.
Which, if you're newish, we did an entire stream where we ran down the whole Lawler Kaufman feud. It should be up in the live archives.
And your wishes are not always the fact of the matter.
I put my money where my mouth is. Fantastics, put your rear ends in the ring.
Well, they'll have to be the judge of that, and they'll have to agree to it. But that'll be something that you'll have to talk to Eddie Marlin about. Over $3,000 in gold coins from JD challenging.
This guy would definitely be played by Neil Patrick Harris in the movie.
The Fantastics to a match right here and now on television. Wouldn't mind seeing it myself. We'll take time out, check with Eddie Marlin, be back in just a moment.
Bischoff said, too, that Jimmy Hart was basically the reason anything ever got done for Hulk Hogan. How he had hotels and, all his shit was taken care of and he was getting to where he needed to be was because, Jimmy Hart was his legitimate, not business manager, but kind of road manager, I guess you'd say. That Lawler Hogan storyline you're talking about would have a lot of interesting possibilities because we've seen on Memphis TV just in these few months we've watched on stream that they have so much footage of Lawler beating WWF guys, Crockett guys. They've got that. They have just tons of footage of him beating all these top guys. So that could work itself naturally into the storyline of being hey, we're suing you because you're going on TV and saying you're the world champion. Well, here's footage of me beating all these people that you claim are top people in your company. Yet Hogan says he's the world champion, but he won't come to Memphis and fight me. That's a pretty good entryway. Yes, babysitter, absolutely.
Hey, the music says the Fantastic.
And I don't judge because I think if you're rich and you can afford it, you should have a babysitter because so many people that are rich make dumb mistakes and end up either going broke or dying or whatever because they I guess we're too proud to have a babysitter, but you need a sweeper, right?
Sticks are coming out. Lance and Eddie are here.
Another tag belt $3,000. And they've agreed to it. All right, Dave. All right. I love this.
Hey, we're going to have a championship match, huh?
Yeah.
It's going to be a championship match?
Right. And what we'll do is have an expiration of time. It is agreed by both of them. It will be expiration of time. And the Fantastics said, put the money up, and brother, we'll put the title up. They have agreed. They will put the belts on the line. JD's got his $3,000 of gold coins that he's going to put, and they will be at stake too. So if the Fantastics win it, they walk away.
This might be Rat Row.
With $3,000 out of this match, and of course, if the Moscow, $3,000. It's actually more than $3,000 with the price of gold. Dave, you're up on those things. What's the price of gold?
It's more than $3,000. I can tell you that. Oh, hey, this one. The Mod Squad just jumped in the ring, started swinging. Everybody going in there. All right. Tommy and Bobby have run them out of the ring. The Mod Squad just jumped in there and went after them. Belts are at stake, confirmed by referee.
Oh, wow. We're actually going to see the heels and the baby faces in the ring? Wow.
Jerry Calhoun in the ring already. The team of the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton, Tommy Rogers. Bobby stays in there. The Mod Squad with J.D. Costello challenging for the Southern Tag Team titles. Everybody in there.
Oh, I love it.
Wow, what a drop kick. Tommy Rogers just put on it. Bobby Fulton dumps the other one over the back. Spike and bash.
Dumps the other one. I don't think that would have flown in the Vince era. The other one.
Sure. The Mod Squad.
These guys are so energetic, the Fantastics. I want to tell you, they are strong and great physical condition. And, brother, I mean to tell you, they are in super shape. Tommy Rogers in there.
If Neil Patrick Harris and Woody Harrelson had a love child, it'd be J.D. Costello.
Walking around a little worried. He's carrying that gold coins with 3. You might say bye-bye to those, J.D.
You're just going to hate it.
It's weird to me that there's a gold coin storyline in this wrestling. And there's a gold coin storyline on Thorpe TV. That's kind of interesting.
We walk off with...
And it doesn't help beat the allegations that Thorpe TV is actually based on classic wrestling storylines.
You better watch the ring and see what's happening up there because Tommy Rogers...
He's like, hey, I'm having this really nice suit made. Could you put my name on the back of it? But make it a font and a size that make it absolutely impossible to read. Thank you. Did you see the Omni event WWE Vault uploaded from the Crockett days? Was that the one? I didn't watch it, but I added one to my queue that had, it was like about an hour long maybe, and it had like the Road Warriors were in the thumbnail.
Rogers and Bobby Fulton are not just doing well, super. Fulton with a good shoulder on Spike. And
such an interesting distinction of styles across region to region. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the most fun things to me about the territories. Plus, like, guys that were really popular and over one place weren't somewhere else, and like, it's just like interesting. All these like little, like how the booking is different, how the crowds are different, like what gets over and what doesn't.
And over to the side, a tag on Basher in the other half of the Mod Squad.
JD looks like a wrestling version of Kelsey Grammer. Like it's, oh my God, wouldn't that be epic if he played him in the movie? I'm here with the mod. I can't do his voice, but I'm here with the Mod Squad. I want to hear it in his voice.
JD's a
wimp. That's what they're saying.
I tried. I couldn't do it, though.
Maybe a rich wimp, but he's a wimp.
He may be. Well, he may be a little less rich today.
Really? $3,000 of Mama's gold.
What would Bobby Fulton even do with $3,000? He doesn't. I don't know if he would know what to do with the money.
Coins may go down the tube here. Fantastic. Knowing full well. Gold coins are going to...
Does anybody remember the storyline in 90s WCW where Ric Flair was working with Elizabeth and they were suing Randy Savage for alimony? And so whenever he had to start paying alimony, Ric like having these huge lobster dinners and shit at ringside, and like they'd show vignettes of him spending all of Randy Savage's money. I thought those were the absolute worst shit at the time. But now going back and watching them, I think they're so keynote. They're so fucking funny and like over the top.
Down the throat of them. Over the top, Bobby.
Start a territory, hot shot it, and sell it to someone else. It's Bobby Fulton.
Fulton, a nice drop kick. There's a tag from Basher to Spike.
Spike backing Bobby Fulton to the corner. Tommy Rogers in there after the tag, wheels him around and smack him right in the top of the head. Tommy hammers the head into the turnbuckle.
And that also, I'm sure, is one of the reasons that it's so complicated in some territories who owns the rights. But in my opinion, in that situation, if you have all these people who think that they have the right to it, and I think there should be line like you have 5 years to, make your case and whatever. And if you can't make your case, they should just become public domain. No one should be able to hold like art, which is essentially culture. You can argue whether or not this is important culture, but it is art, it is culture. It's very telling about the time. Like that stuff like this might be like locked down legally and be like unavailable if it wasn't for the internet, because a bunch of people can't agree who owns the rights to it. That's crazy. Like, it's ridiculous to me.
Mod Squad.
If no one can prove a claim, then nobody owns it, in my opinion.
Physically impressive. Look at this. Big Leuke flip from Tommy Rogers. Takes Spike over and down and quickly tags Fulton. Boy, they do work well together, don't they, Dave?
They are terrific as a tag team.
And you notice that he had him in a pin position, a 1 count. He got out of it. Spike rolled out, and immediately Fulton was around in front with a front face lock on him.
Don't lose the advantage. That's the way the Fantastics work, and boy, they have done well with it. They're the current holders of these Southern Tag Team titles that are at stake right now, and that's the reason why. This is Basher, the Mod Squad in there. He's being bashed by Bobby Fulton. Bobby sends him into the rope, rolls him down, tags Tommy. Tommy leapt over the top rope and then went right into a drop kick. Squad over close to their corner. Tommy Rogers, good move by him as he released on Spike or on Basher and went after Spike after the tag had been made. Another fine drop kick.
Don't slow down.
No,
Not a second since this bout has been started. Boy, I love to watch these guys wrestle. Mod Squad of J.D. Costello finding out. Fantastics are every bit of that. Uh-oh.
Grab from behind, Tommy Rogers over in the corner. Mod Squad makes the tag, and it's Basher coming in here.
Guess they figured maybe that's the only way to slow him down. Double team him. Basher.
Do I think wrestling history goes a different way if Bill Watts gets the first TBS time slot and the UWF are the ones primarily competing with Vince? Gosh, I don't know. I personally like Bill Watts' booking style way better than Vince's. But what do I think would make a better? It just depends. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to separate what I think would be better versus what I think would play to a national audience. Would Bill Watts? I think Bill Watts would have made it more. I don't want to say more Southern, but he would have made it more of his style. And I don't know if that still could have I don't know. I don't know. I might be too high to think about that one.
Dropped from behind on it with a big elbow.
You see where your champions are now, right now, on the mat. You see where they are. We're going to get them later.
I haven't seen a pin yet, JD.
And then I'm also thinking of how it went when he got a little bit of power in WCW. That didn't exactly go very well. So I don't know. I think product-wise, it would have been a superior product. But, I mean, I'm a big Hogan mark, and that carries a lot, too. So, I don't know.
Double team by the Mod Squad over here in the corner. Tommy Rogers, boy, took a knee to the midsection right there. Off the rope. Clothesline, a big one. Mod Squad in control here.
Choking. Referee starting the count, and Basher lets it go.
Tommy trying to get back to his feet. He does.
Well, they sure found out they couldn't wrestle him, so they're trying anything else they can come up with.
Bill Watts is an underrated I don't know if I'd say play-by-play guy, but he would be on commentary sometimes on Mid-South and just be the third person in the booth, I think. And he would just say the most random things, and there would be these little weird storylines that had nothing to do with wrestling. He'd be talking about things going on in his personal life and shit.
Oh, nice leapfrog, but the other one came right on him. And
To you, Bill Watts informs so much of what's considered great booking today, and I think it comes to using minority talent. He was better at booking them than almost anybody else. Yeah, I mean, Bill Watts to me is the best booker I've ever seen. I haven't seen as much of Championship Wrestling from Florida, which I've heard is really, the booking there was like really good, like storytelling wise. I think Bill Watts, like Mid-South to me is my favorite territory of all time, I think. Even though nostalgically, like WWF will always be, but weirdly, I don't think of them as a territory because they were always national, like, you know, when I knew them.
Fight. Got a 2 count on Tommy Rogers. The belts are at stake against the $3,000 that J.D. Costello put up in gold coins to get this match here and today on television.
The Mid-South studio show was so good. The matches were good. The stories were so good. The commentary was wild. What's his name? Suits were always so outrageous. We watched those here for a while, but then eventually WWE started shutting my streams down.
Coming off those ropes, but Rogers picks out of it. Bobby Fulton holding his hand as far out as he can, trying to give Tommy as good a target to tag out as he can. Mod Squad will not let him get anywhere close to him, though.
Hey, great move by Tommy. He rolls both of them down. He flips over to the corner. And Bobby...
That was kind of an awkward transition into a tag. Single guy doing a double sunset flip to the opposite side of the ring and then having to like run back over there. That was kind of awkward.
Fulton has been watching all of this. Let me tell you, he's ready for some action.
He had it all tuned up when that tag came. He was in there and gone, and the Mod Squad back in trouble again as Rogers comes over and grabs Spike as Bobby Fulton going against Patriot. Oh, J.D. Costello's in there. Hits him in the head with a bag full of gold coins.
Those look like washers to me.
So it was washers in there, not gold coins.
The winners, the Mod Squad.
I was just saying last episode how rare title changes were. Maybe Memphis was an exception. Like, I never remember WWF hardly ever switching belts on TV, but especially not like back-to-back shows.
But not before Costello hit him in the head. And what's in there? What is that?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, if I could separate the nostalgia that I have for WWF, it would be no question about it. But like, if someone were like, hey, you can get one tape library and you're going to like a deserted island or whatever, I would take Mid-South every time. Like, I love Mid-South.
Oh, come on. Look at the stuff in the ring, Eddie. Eddie Marlin out.
But like being a kid and seeing Hogan slam Andre like live on the pay-per-view, like that was almost like a generational drug, like that you could just never shake out of your mind after that. Like after that moment, like you were just like a WWF fan, like permanently.
$3,000 worth of gold coins in that bag. They're not going to mislead the people of me and the fan Texas. Give me some.
That's no gold.
Eddie Marlin is overturning it.
Let me tell you something, Costello. You said you was going to put up $3,000 for a title match. I've got more than $3,000 y'all's money. I'm booking a title match, and your $3,000 will be at stake, and I'll see to it they get it because I've got your money. If you don't beat them, the $3,000 and the belt for that.
Doesn't go to you guys. Amen, Eddie. Thank you. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. I am delighted to see the promotion stand up to stuff like that, JD. You see what?
I think for me, territory wrestling and kind of just how pro wrestling went in general is kind of like when you find like a a band that you like, and you can go to their shows and you can like meet them at the merch table, and like they respond to you on Facebook. And then like part of the vibe of why that works so well is because of like the sense of community and like the continuity. But then when you like reach a certain size and you move from like regional to national, you can't really keep that sense of community. Like it either drastically changes into something like the WWE universe, which is just like completely nebulous, or you just, it's just, you can't have that same level of intimacy. So I think that's part of why these old territory videos are so much fun to watch, is because the crowd is like so invested and they're so into it, because they're going week after week. They're like, they're live. This is like a huge part of their like daily life. And like they are actually like seeing all this happen in person. Most of the people watching this TV show had to have been in that region. I don't know how like widespread giant satellites were at that time, but 86, I don't even know. My sense of time is all warped out today. But I just think, like, I don't know, the things that I like about Mid-South, I don't know if you could make them work on a national stage without kind of Disneyfying it or whatever.
Well, fair and square. You think that's gold? Anybody can see it's washers and stuff.
Yeah, and like the storylines would, like when a guy left town, he just left town. Like unless like, I think Cornette was saying there was a couple newsletters in his era, but like unless you were somebody that was subscribing to one of these like regional newsletters or like the very, very early Observer, I guess, like you'd really have very little idea of what was going on in other territories besides like Controlled Press, which was like the wrestling magazines were all like kayfabe. It's just that it's impossible to replicate, like you said, with like modern internet and stuff like that. You could just never do like anything that's truly regional.
The decision reversed because Costello welched on.
You have to start appealing to, if you want to go national or you want to go big, you have to appeal to that broad audience and choose whether you want to stay like a small independent operation that like maybe can survive, but will put out like great content like Mid-South did, but eventually even they ran into, financial concerns. Or do you kind of sell out and appeal to that wider audience, but you're going to lose like some of your street cred? You know what I mean?
On the deal that he made in there, not only did they use the bag, and ultimately to get the pin, the only way they...
Yeah, if WWE, if it wasn't Vince McMahon, it would have been Joe Blanchard or it would have been Bill Watts. Somebody would have taken wrestling. There would have been another person in there. Whether it would have worked as well and become as mainstream, who knows? But definitely other people would have, there wouldn't have been a vacuum there. Somebody would have stepped in, or if not multiple people.
Could have in there, but he even lied about that. Nothing but washers in the bag, slamming Bobby Fulton on the head with it, and the bag broke open. It's a whole bag full of washers. And Eddie Marlin I am really tickled to see that. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
Bunch of washers in there. I'm glad to see Eddie come out here and put some teeth in that son of a gun.
Exactly.
Guys come out here and try to pull a sham on the fans and the Fantastics, and everybody straighten that sucker out. So the belts stay with the Fantastics as it's reversed. The belts were given to him. Do you further hear what he said? I got more than $3,000 of your money. I'm going to schedule a match and put that money up, and if the Fantastics beat you, they get your money. We're going to take time out. I love that.
What the hell's wrong with the referee? Why wouldn't you be like, hold on a second, wait, there are washers all over the ring and this guy's knocked out. What's good? Like, let's hold on a second. What happened here? What's he thinking?
Wednesdays wins 6 outstanding championship wrestling matches coming into the Evansville Coliseum. And, brother, I'll tell you what, there are going to be some dandies. Out of the 6, half of them going to be championship matches.
Oh, yeah, there's still definitely like a lot of thriving indies. It's just not really the same.
International title on the line, Southern Tag Team title. I think that won't be some mod squad with J.D. Costello against the Fantastics, and then that final bout, Southern Heavyweight Championship.
That's the issue. If you stay smaller and regional, it just opens you up to having your top talent taken by whoever does decide to go national. So you almost there you go. That's right. So that's what I mean. Like, even if you do have that great product like Mid-South, you have to, in that situation, you do have to grow or die. And that's how Vince ended up beating, like, at least able to absorb ECW, was with, they were in that situation where they had to get bigger to afford to keep their talent. And then they overstepped, and then that was it. Probably similar to like WCW panicking toward the end and, not being the wisest with their money. But yeah, it's either you're kind of stuck. Memphis was able to kind of ride out for quite a while, but it wasn't the same. Even Memphis wasn't like Memphis like back in these days.
Chip belt on the line. Bill Dundee putting it up, and Dutch Mantel looking to take it away with Buddy Landell barred from the building.
Okay.
And then you don't want to be seen, even if you're thinking like, oh, well, if we can keep pushing talent out, then we'll be seen as a place to come. But then you don't want to really be, you're always going to be viewed as like second tier.
Last for one time I got all the things going my way. Now I heard Dundee.
Like just basically like a glorified, what do you call it? Minor leagues.
A while ago, and he said, Lawler's laughing at me. Well, he's not laughing at me. He's laughing with me because he had a formal commitment he had to make. But I ain't about to step into an arena with two guys like Buddy Landell and Bill Dundee knowing.
Pretty rude of Dutch Mantel to wear a shirt with an earthquake this close to the one we just suffered on the West Coast.
That both of them are going to jump on me and double team me, so we got that Landell. He's out of here.
Finally, a real man appears. Dutch in the house.
Jack, he is barred from the building. Now, Dundee, I want you to drag your low-life, egg-sucking carcass down that aisle, and I want you to climb in the ring, and I want you to bring that Southern belt with you, baby, because we got a score to settle this between me and you. And remember, the beauty about this, see, Dundee hadn't been nowhere in the last 4 or 5 months. He hadn't had somebody in the back backing him up. True. But the beauty of it all, Buddy Landell won't be within 200 miles of that building because he's barred, baby. He might as well be barred from the whole state of Indiana. And Dundee, there ain't nobody back there backing you up. But I don't need nobody to back me up because I'm coming straight at you, Dundee. I ain't coming right. I ain't coming left. And I ain't afraid of you, Dundee, because I took pills bigger than you, boy.
Yeah, bragging about drug use.
And I'm going to take you out 1, 2, 3. Now, if you think you're going to win it, you got another thing coming. You're backing up all the way to Melbourne, Australia. There won't be one Australian in that building. It'll be a lot of people just like me. There won't be nobody from Sydney. There won't be nobody from
Mods ban any Australians trying to get into the show.
Melbourne. They'll be good old people just like me, and we're all wanting one thing, baby, for you to go down, and I ain't about to disappoint them. I'll see you in Evansville, IND.
Wednesday night. You got to be there to see that action. Okay.
I'll be honest, though, like, if there was, even if no matter how terrible it was, if there was a place that ran weekly and did storylines, even no matter how bad it was, like, I would go to it religiously. But, like, I don't want to go to a show just to see matches. It's not enough to get me out unless I could see, like, something that's, like, absolutely crazy. But, I mean, I would go to see anything if it was, like, episodic and they tried to tell stories or whatever. I just think it'd be really cool to get, like, invested in something like that and seeing it live.
Hey, in the ring right.
But, I mean, there's probably so little money to be made, like, hard to keep the same guys coming back every week.
Right now, Tony Faulk and Pat Rose, as they will be in a bout against a team we saw for the first time.
Oh, boy, look at this. Here's this team again, Pat Rose and Tony Faulk. Love his jacket, though, the Florida jacket.
Last week, Paul Diamond and Michael Lee. Last week I had said that Paul was from Florida, but that's where he most recently...
Didn't we literally just see this match?
Wrestled. Yeah. And talking to him during the week, he said he was from Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Yeah, he's a Canadian. He has been wrestling.
Oh, you have like a place there that runs regularly? I think the last time I went to a place regularly was in like the mid-2000s. I followed Ring of Honor during like the summer of Punk. And then I ran like a bunch of IWA and random like Midwest armory shows, so to speak.
Wrestling down in Florida, but his home is up in Canada. This match is to the expiration of time.
Some of those matches were interesting because like it did have kind of a territory feel, because they would book like if you were in like say some podunk town in Kentucky, like you would use the same roster there that you would use like across the border in like rural Indiana, but like it would be a completely different storyline down there than it was in like, you know what I mean? Like the story didn't continue with the show. The story was wherever the city was.
Introducing first out of St. Louis, Missouri, and a total...
Which made it very confusing if you were watching the DVDs in chronological order. Because you'd have to wait like 4 shows before you found out what happened in that town again.
Weight of this team, 455 pounds. Out of St. Louis, Tony Faulk. And out of Pensacola, Florida, his partner, Pat Rose. And going against him, total weight 461 pounds. From Hernando, Mississippi, Michael Lee. And from Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, Paul Diamond. This match will go to the expiration of time. Referee Jerry Calhoun.
Like, why are we seeing this? What's the point of this? Why do we get this same match again?
Well, Diamond and Lee were a good-looking young team, and we're going to see they're going against guys.
Oh, that explains it. Lance Russell pulled some strings, I think.
Guys, they got a lot more experience. Tony Faulk says it's a cinch. This is going to be the first win here today. He's got a good partner in Pat Rose. Pat, a very solid, rugged wrestler. He's
held dandy.
Tangled up with Paul Diamond in there. We saw Diamond make some very, very interesting moves in our first bout, Dave.
Did indeed. And
the top guy's called Terry Lawler. I like it. It reminds me of Dirty Rhodes in this old Memphis show.
Diamond, probably with more experience of the two, of the team of Diamond and Lee. Pat Rose, well, that's experience of a different kind that you're gaining when you get your hair pulled and yanked back to the corner like he just did. Paul Diamond ducks under. Good move. He presses both of them down to the mat. Tony Faulk and Pat Rose both in there, and Diamond just went after both of them. Here comes Michael Lee. Michael's first official appearance in this match, going against Tony Faulk, winless, and we lost count of how many matches.
Yeah, really. And Tony.
One thing that's interesting about this show to me in watching these is that, like, you can tell the purpose of television has shifted. Like, at the time, it seems like they were thinking, like, okay, most people are gonna watch about half of the show, because we normally get like the quote-unquote main event either at the beginning of the show or in the middle of the show. But like that seems like the last match a lot of times, unless it's Dundee and Landell, like it's always like some just like random match that, you know, has the whatever time limit is left or whatever. So whereas now they structure the show so that like it like keeps you going and you don't get that main event match until you've watched the entire show up to that point, because they're chasing the advertisers. Whereas back in this time, they wanted to show you the good stuff while they knew you were there, because they were trying to sell you a ticket to a show. So that's just kind of interesting to me in my current mindset.
Faulk won't admit to knowing exactly how many matches in there. He probably does, but he won't admit to how many it is. Michael with a couple of good moves in there.
Tony Faulk has his left arm useless to him right now, as Michael Lee has a good bar on it.
Yeah, he does. It's nice and tight and very severe.
I'm going to make a t-shirt that says nice, tight, and very severe.
Tony trying to set up for the shoulder butt. He gets hit with one instead. Michael, nice spin, good move. Faulk was setting up to take him over, but Michael just kind of did a half spin away from him. And then as he came back around, he caught Tony Faulk, and he's the one that ended up with the advantage on it. Michael Lee waiting as Pat Rose comes back after the tag.
I was just getting ready to say he's the stocky enforcer, and boy, he blasted Michael Lee. And I mean, hammered his head into that turnbuckle. This Rose is a tough son of a gun.
Wow, he's really putting over Pat Rose. You love Mid-South and Smoky Mountain Wrestling personally? I love Smoky Mountain. I watched it a few years ago during the lockdown. I watched Smoky Mountain like from start to finish, the entire thing. I thought it was fantastic. I was missing a bunch of the big shows. I couldn't find those, but I watched like all the episodic TV. I thought it was great. It's one I think we could probably get away with watching on here. I've seen other people using pretty long clips of it.
Suplexed him right over and then makes the tag on Tony Faulk, and Rose is saying, hit him, get him.
Rose told Faulk, all right, I've got him set up for you now.
Like, that's a perfect example of the copyright thing. WWE owns them, but like refuses to do anything with them. Like, they won't release them to the public. You know, I don't understand that. Like, I don't think you should be able to buy like it's not like it's a painting. It's like a piece of like you know, something that belonged to everybody, at least temporarily. I don't know. It just seems shitty that someone could buy like wrestling history and then put it on the shelf where like nobody else can access it.
Now go in there and finish him off. Tony, I think that may be one of Tony's problems too. He got a little distracted there by Paul Diamond over in the corner rather than taking care of business, and maybe he lost the advantage that Pat.
A lot of CWF on YouTube. Yeah, I was looking through a few playlists. I was trying to find something in case the Jeff Jarrett thing kept coming up on here, but I found a lot of championship wrestling from Florida, and I found like a 1984 Memphis playlist that looked really good. There was another one too, I found another maybe Portland playlist.
Pat Rose had built up for it. Pat back in there now against Michael Lee.
You know, Faulk, he just said today's the day. Faulk, I don't know of anybody in wrestling who has ever had a worse record.
I just have to live to be like 85 years old, and I think we can get through most of these territories on stream. If you missed the Dinsmore era, pretty much uploaded all of the OVW tapes to YouTube. You don't think they were copyrighted? Yeah, I saw those too. What was that account name? Is he putting those up on his account, or is he the person running the Kentuckiana Classics account? That Kentuckiana Classics account is amazing. There's so much good shit on there. You totally watched from Portland. That was one of my backup plans after Mid-South went down, but I thought I didn't know anything really about Memphis besides the Andy Kaufman stuff and what had come up in like shoot interviews, so I was kind of curious to start it.
And be a bigger hot dog than that son of a gun is.
That's true. Ooh. Yeah. Michael Lee's head smacked into the top turnbuckle.
I've seen people on here too that are playing like entire episodes of WCW Saturday Night and stuff. And like, believe me, I think that I don't have any issue with them doing it. I just think it's weird that like some people can stream like an entire episode of like WWE content and like it stays up and is like monetized, and then they get upset that there's like 5 seconds of a clip they own like in the middle of a 4-hour stream. It's just really strange to me.
This Rose will get your attention, and Michael down, but he's
it's like the official Nick Dinsmore account. I'll check it out.
Head jerked up as Rose goes right after the throat.
We're coming up.
I'd like to watch it because I'd like to see. There's a bunch of people in that era, really interesting people wrestling there. King Cornette was booking there at the time, right? Or he was he actually booking at that time, or was he just like a talent? I think he was booking. But there were so many cool like up and coming people in OVW at the time, and then like all those weird like Southern style characters they had. What was the name? Do you remember the like they had like the two redneck brothers, I think. I can't remember what their names were though. But I watched about like 2 or 3 months one time, and they were like one of the major storylines was like these two like they look like farmer guys or like redneck dudes.
Up on 3.5 minutes gone. This is expiration of time. Go as long as.
And they had the woman ring announcer who would be like, trailer park trash.
Their time remaining. Michael Lee needing the tag on his partner in the corner. Paul Diamond.
No, it wasn't Doug and Danny Basham. It was, I don't know. One of them was like really big and goofy looking, like farmer type, almost like a Godwin type gimmick, but like baby face and real goofy.
Diamond reaching for the tag, but Michael Jarrett couldn't quite get there. Tony Faulk pulled him back. Looked like he hit him in the.
The Bashams were around at the time as Damaja and whatever. I think the other one was just under his name, the Basham name.
The throat there with a thumb. Tony Faulk drops down on the throat. Referee called for a break. Still choking him. Right back on the throat again.
He's going to lose this one by disqualification.
Tony Faulk put him into the rope. Clotheslines had coming off of there. Now Faulk over with the cover. Counts one. He got a 2 count, and that's it. Only a 2 count.
That Rose takes the tag, comes in, rips him in the lower back. Pulls Michael Lee out of the corner now as he whips him across the ring. Big power slam. Grabbed him coming off the ropes and hammered him down.
Pat Rose slamming him again.
I tried to look it up, but I looked up OVW Hillbilly gimmick, and I didn't see them.
Out of the rope. Drops down. Upper arm and upper body, and a cover. Count is 1. Pat picked him up. A little surprised that Pat Rose would do that, rather than trying to go ahead and get the 3 count when he looked like he had the advantage.
I think what he's trying to do is give Faulk a win in there inside the ring. That may cost him, though, trying to do that.
Michael Lee makes the tag, and here comes Paul Diamond back in, young man from Thunder Bay, Ontario. The drop kicks he's putting on him here. Tony Faulk whipped into the ropes. Backdrop coming off of there. Tony grabs his back, round behind him. Paul Diamond snaps him back. Look at him hook him. He's got the shoulders down. Counts at 2 and 3.
Got him. Another loss for Tony Faulk.
Paul Diamond, Michael Lee gets the victory here over Tony Faulk and Pat Rose in this first fall of action. And Pat right now has got to be thinking about when he perhaps could have gotten a 3 count on Michael Lee and did not take advantage of the situation. There goes Paul Diamond. He and Michael Lee victorious here in 5 minutes, 24 seconds of action.
Oh, you called it right, too. Pat Rose is over there. He's consoling Tony Faulk. I'm not sure he is. He may be saying, you idiot. They ended up losing that first fall. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take time out. We'll check our time and see if we have enough for a second fall, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I don't think we're getting a second fall.
Well, I don't know that you can actually put that down as a win for the Fantastics, but the important thing is they got the belt.
They still have the belts. That's right. Technically they were pinned by the Mod Squad in there with a little help from J.D. Costello. And so, but the Mod Squad's hands were raised, but then the promoter says, we're not having any of this.
You didn't live up to your part of it, so the belts weren't at stake.
Right.
If there wasn't any money at stake, the belts weren't at stake.
Fantastics do keep the belts, and that's the important thing, I think, in this case right here. Especially.
Okay, so when all of it gets resolved, because there was no money, they don't get the titles. So in other words, if he would have hit him with a bag full of gold coins, they would have gotten the titles. That seems kind of shady.
Especially if you're the Fantastics.
Yes, and they'll have another chance to get that little thing straightened out. You bet. Hey, are we out of time? I'm just going to go over that. Okay. Hey.
All right, so that's the end of March 22nd. Before I go, let me see if we can find that Jerry Lawler music video. Okay, here we go. Glory Days. Hold on, let me make sure we got this all in frame. We don't want to miss anything. Benoit and Doug Basham had a banger on OVW TV. Oh man, I bet that sounds like a good match. Wow, why did he have a forgetting his keys? I don't understand. Would that have gotten like a big laugh back then? I feel like it wouldn't have gotten much of a reaction. Omnibus, yeah, I'll have to check it out. I definitely want to get in. I definitely want to check out some more OVW stuff, especially if somebody's uploaded like a lot of it. Somebody had a bunch up for a while, and then I think they took them down, and now Kentuckiana Classics is like uploading one every once in a while.
Jerry the King.
Okay, so we're at the end of the stream, so if it gets taken down by copyright, it's not a big deal, but let's watch the best wrestling music video ever made. What a low recorded version. Wow. Yes, EFD, if you're out there, buddy, $306. $306. What in the world? Can we not get a version with sound in it? The hell's going on? There's the Slick. I swear there was definitely a version of this. Oh, and by this, if it's an unpopular take or not, the Pile Driver album to me is legit, unironically, absolutely. Okay, tell me when you listen to this that this is not this is a wrestling song with like Hillbilly Jim. It's so corny but it's so amazing.
I just had a dream about you, a dream that you were home, sweet home.
If you get high with me, things are eventually always going to lead toward listening to Hillbilly Jim and Gertrude Waking Up Alone from the Pile Driver, the wrestling album.
But then I woke up without you. Another morning.
Here comes Hillbilly Jim.
Waking up alone.
Another night, another fight, it seems it never ends. Another town, then another show. Tonight I'll be a hero with thousands of friends. Tomorrow I'll be waking up alone.
Oh no. Oh great.